sometimes the safest, most viable pick can't go wrong, and they're doing really well with it.
Trex, you were down there casting a little bit. You've been on the desk. You've been all over the place. It's day 3. What have you picked up on heading into this match?
I think today things are starting to get regulated a little bit. Things are starting to calm down a little bit. Not as crazy in terms of draft as what we saw the past few days. But we'll see. We still have 2 great games ahead of us, and anything can happen.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll see. And of course, today, and in this series specifically, our 3rd series of the day, there's a lot of important storylines. So important that we had to give this one our Crunchyroll storyline of the day. It's the Maestro versus the KDA Machine. Of course, when you talk about the Maestro, I mean, there's really only one person to say, Renmar.
Yeah, man, it's Moreno for Team Vitality, and you really see why he is the Maestro for the team. I think he really earned that, especially the previous season of MPL ID, where they became champions, how he placed the juice in, and how the symphony and the orchestra that is Team Vitality just looks so much better when Moreno's leading the charge.
Loyalty as well, a big name, finally getting them to this position. Talk to me on the other side of this matchup and this story with the KDA Machine, Trex.
I mean, he's got the name for a reason, and this is going to be a big match for Vitality. And there's a reason why this is the match of the day, in a sense. The anime battle, what we've all been waiting to watch. And it's even bigger because it's a deciding match, right?
Yep.
One of these teams will move forward, and one of these teams are going to have to fight for life in the lower bracket after today.
It's going to be a big run and an important run as well. Every moment here can decide your fate. One draft, one pick, one setup for a Lord fight that goes awry or goes your way could be the difference between $100,000 and maybe even $1 million if you can make it all the way up. Renmar, stakes are super high, but focusing in on this Vitality roster, you know, there's just so many players to pick up from that can make an impact today.
Yeah, I mean, we've already discussed Moreno, but I think you really have to look at Eman. Eman against Super Marco in the gold lane is going to be a battle for sure. These are 2 gold laners who do not want to lose the gold lane. There are some gold laners who just want to stabilize things, make sure they get their farm, but these 2 really want to win.
Well, I love that you highlighted Eman. We've got 5 players on Vitality that are going to hopefully make a big impact coming into this set. And whether it's Niall, whether it's Moreno, whether it's Eman, you know that Vitality's story is going to be very, very special. With a series that has so much money on the line, but so much pride for this organization and this team, we had a chance to sit down and talk with Niall about his impact heading into this series.
We're now here with Niall from Team Vitality. Niall, yesterday we saw, I think, a quote from you. Top 3 junglers in MSC. It looked like your name wasn't on that list.
Because they say it excluded me.
Oh, okay. But if we had to include you, what would your top 3 be?
1, me, Nanael. 2 is TNG. Rest of it, no one.
Oh, so not even Kyle, no Carl, no one, just you and TNZ?
I'm talking based on scrims, right? Based on scrim, for me, only TNG is matching my scrims level. You know, like not tournament level, like scrims level.
Oh, okay. So, wait, you called yourself Nanail. So do we call you Nanail too?
Up to you
Or
guys.
Niall?
Up to you guys.
Which one do you like more?
I prefer both. It's okay.
Oh, so both can?
Yeah.
Okay. But what do you prefer in the assassins in the jungle? I mean, we see a lot of Lings, we see a lot of, Hiraras, but what if those 2 get banned? What do you choose next?
I mean, I still have Fanny, Nolan, and one more secret assassin.
One more secret assassin.
It was Flashy also.
Oh, because earlier on we saw a Saber in the jungle. What did you think about that?
Saber?
Yeah.
Speaking of them.
The one before this match, I forgot as well. I have bad memory, guys.
I think Saber is not fit in this meta, I think.
Oh, okay. So more assassin.
Yeah.
Do you think the tanks in the jungle still might work?
Absolutely, because if we play tank jungle, it will become more easier, I think. The game, it's not complicated.
Oh, okay. So, Niall, we got to ask you, I think someone's asked you this before, but we want to get you on camera here for the main broadcast. What difference do we have for you? Back from M4 and now you're here. What makes you you now?
First of all, I've been through a lot. Like, for example, I'm losing my brother or something like that. So it gets me humble right now. It's just that. And maturity, yeah.
So does that mean that you're also doing this for your brother?
Yeah, of course. That's my number one motivation right now since MPL.
Okay, so everyone's rallying behind that. That's a really good motivation, Niall. So you're motivated. Are you confident as well up against one of the biggest teams here at MSC?
For us, whoever the enemy is, we are so confident against everything, and we prepare the same thing for everyone. Like no special.
Okay, that's what we like to hear. By the way, you keep coughing. Are you okay?
I'm good, but it's just cough, because of that thing maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Best of luck. Get well soon as well
Thank
for
you.
your next match. Hope I get to see you after. And there you have it. That's Niall. Back to you guys.
We won't talk about what that thing might be. However, I will say that it is an amazing journey to witness Niall just being open about his brother and the maturity needed to go through this process now after him for being here at MSC. Wishing them all the best. And honestly, what a journey. That's just a human experience, and sending lots of love his way. Of course, when it comes to the game, there's another element to start picking up on, and the teammates and how they fit with Niall. He said that it would fit with Tank Jungle. And also, as you see here, Eman says he misses competing against Super Marco on stage, expecting that it might be one of the hardest matchups that he's going to face, and maybe even hard to beat. So that's going to be on display. You mentioned that as well, Renmar.
Yep.
Just that matchup, something you're keeping a close eye on.
Oh yeah, I hope it's going to be exciting. I hope they both don't realize, like, hey, this guy also wants to fight. Let's just play it safely. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see safe. I want to see them burning their flickers early on, being aggressive, getting that win in lane.
Going for the kill. Trex, the pacing of a game like this, when you're in the upper bracket, do you feel that the approach is, let's take some risks, we can lose, we could even lose twice and still have a chance to stay in this? Or do you go with a little bit more cautionary?
I think as what we're seeing today is some of the teams that survived yesterday, some of the teams that won. It's less about where they're at in the bracket and more just about the teams themselves. I think we're going to see a slower pace game possibly. It's what we've been seeing earlier.
Yeah, it is.
And that's kind of where we're getting to that true play style of what's going to win you games. And knowing Falcons and the way they like to play, even Super Marco, for example, sometimes it takes him a little bit of time. He wants to farm up until he's got those items he needs in. And then it's bulletproof Marco time, right? Then it's, I'm going to come in,
Power up Marco.
Yeah, exactly. So
I love it. I love to see it, and we're going to see how that matchup goes as well. Keep your eye on that. Also, we talked about the KDA machine in Haji, who is here for Team Falcons PH. There are stories along all of these members' journeys, but we had a chance to speak with Ogwin heading into this one.
It's Eterna here with Ogwin. Ogwin, what's going on? You okay? Everything fine?
Yeah, all good, all good.
All good? Any nerves coming through? I mean, you have so much experience. I mean, do you still feel nerves at this point?
I don't think so. Just the interview.
Just the interview. What is up with players on interviews? Why are you so scared of the camera?
I guess the surprise questions.
Oh, the
Yeah.
surprise questions. Don't worry. All the questions are nice today. Just for today. But Ogwin, moving on. There are a lot of, sentiments out there, maybe mostly from like the community and maybe some casters from different regions, that it looks like the meta is shaped in a way that it may favor ID teams over the Philippines. Do you agree with this?
I think I agree because the ID teams are really good in their mechanics, especially in this meta right now. All of the assassins are buff, so it's really hard. It's really hard to play utility jungles right now.
So do you think that may be the reason why TLPH lost yesterday? What did you think about that match? Were you surprised? Were you shocked?
I think it's a 50-50 match because we scrimmed in Turkey. They're really good as well, so I think it's all just in the meta in the favor of Turkey, and they have like a poison picks, so they really got TLPH.
Okay, so it's about the picks. So that was Coach Midnight. You know Coach Midnight?
Yeah.
You have something to say to Coach Midnight? Midnight, no, Midnight. But speaking of the meta, the roamers are shaping up to be quite interesting. What do you like the meta? What do you think about the meta for the roamers?
For the roamers, I think it's quite simple. You just need to soak damage and that's it. Especially when you play Beleric and Atlas.
Okay.
So a lot of crowd control. So I think it's really good for the roamers right now.
So crowd control and soak damage. Does your staple Minotaur fit in this?
I think Minotaur is also in a pocket picks, and it works really well against some champs like Beleric and Atlas. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna, keep an eye on those picks. But do you think the supports have a place in this meta right now, or just more so like the chunky boys in the roaming?
I think there's a place in utility roamers, especially when you have utility jungle. But there's Hirara ending, so it's really a hard time to pick it up right now.
Okay.
You need to be careful before picking those.
So there's a lot of considerations that needs to come into play. And obviously you're up against Vitality next. Do you have maybe a message for them before you get in?
Good luck and have fun, and we will try our best to not lose.
Try their best not to lose. I like that's confidence, right? Is that confidence? I'm not sure. Well, we're going to throw it over back to you. Thank you so much, Ogwin.
Trying their best to not lose. It's not soccer, it's not football, so I think a draw isn't available here, guys. I think that means win?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
If you look at it a certain way, it means,
Okay.
they're going to try to win.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, Trex, there were kind of two different thoughts on that meta as well. A little bit where tank assassins could work, we heard from Niall, but also like he's saying no way, that's not going to work on this side with Ogwin. I mean, we have not seen tank assassins here so far.
I mean, the tank junglers.
Yeah, to the tank junglers.
Tank junglers.
Sorry,
yep.
I think, again, I said it yesterday, I've been saying it for the past 2 days, the meta is still unraveling. We still got a lot of layers to go. We saw yesterday, we saw the Rafaela work, which me and Renmar were theory crafting that on day one, and the possibility of that coming in. Day two, it comes in, it works. There is still a lot to see, I think, from MSC. So we'll see how it goes. I don't want to make any hard calls yet, but I do think Utility Jungler could possibly make a comeback, especially with something like a Wrath behind it.
Yeah, and real quick, Niall even teased the assassin we haven't seen yet that's equally flashy. I'm trying to go through the list in my head. I wonder who it is.
Poison picks, he called. Midnight Hat. I mean, do they have a poison pick, an assassin we haven't seen?
Let's see, man. The org and the boys playing there, they have the identity and the DNA for it, so for sure.
I also like the call about the Minotaur. We saw that a little bit earlier in the set prior to us. Didn't end up working out, but we did see the impact of the Beleric and the Atlas. You got to look at these two teams and say that there is so much on the line and so many stories. We set it up, and it was obviously somebody who was trying to make this happen in Team Vitality, the mid lane matchup, and of course seeing if Haji or Moreno can get the better end of it. We're about to kick it off onto our stage to begin this Series 3, which might just provide a champion. Who knows? We'll see how the gameplay goes.
Yes, my friends, this third series has a lot on the line for it. Two teams that you would not be surprised to see in our grand final. But first, Rose, my dear, you look like a very proud mom in our post-game interview.
I think the reason for that is because a lot of the people and a lot of our audiences actually call me like kind of the Southeast Asian mother to the players. Because, come on, how can you not be so proud? It's just like a tiny little boy answering interviews. So happy.
This is why we're here, right? To see those stories growing. And now we have another story to tell in our upper bracket. Please join me in welcoming Team Vitality! The hometown heroes made a buzzing entrance into the MSC 26 group stage. Their harvest has been bountiful so far, but the real juicy pollen awaits in the knockout stage. Is this run meant to be, or will they be left behind? We're about to find out.
Oh, wow, I love the bee puns in there.
They're the buzzing bees, that's how it is.
And of course, going up against the buzzing bees, it's none other than Team Falcons Philippines! Taking it one step at a time, Team Falcons Philippines wants to reclaim dominance on the international stages. With only the MSC trophy missing from their cabinet, they are ready for whoever they will face.
I think it's heating up in here between these two.
You know what, boys? You may place your keys and take your seats. And of course, our captains, don't forget on that little handshake, fist bump, or whatever it may be in the middle.
Pull it right over. There we go. All
it's coming.
Going in.
All right. They are good friends, but you know, in the land of Dawn, everybody's the enemy. Thank you very much, Milosh. You know what? I think it's time to hit this to the desk. Let's go, guys.
Thank you so much, Rose and Milosh. It's Team Vitality versus Team Falcons PH. It's time to see if this team has what they think the mechanical prowess of Indonesian teams versus the classic stature of Philippine squads here at Team Falcons. Bryn Mawr, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it's going to be a great one. And I have to admit, this is going to be a very difficult match for me. Why? Because in many years, I have been very honest with my professed love for Vitality as an organization and my professed love as Falcons being my favorite team from the Philippines. So I don't know where I'm getting pulled towards, man. I was cheering for Vitality. I was cheering for Falcons. This feels like the MWI Grand Finals all over again for me, bro.
That was me yesterday with Aurora versus TLPH.
All right. Yeah. Just to remind you guys before we jump into this one, My Champions. 2 champions, 1 pick. You can grab your My Champions pick and pick your dual champions and win 50,000 diamonds. Make sure to scan that QR code with your tablet or your phone and get going because the event lasts until July 27th and it is currently live.
I'm trying to think now. I wonder how crazy we're going to get with the trade and the roam, or are we just going to have to double down on the fact that it's just going to be Atlas and Bellary?
Well, we have had a few games where we've seen the Atlas banned out.
Yeah.
Which means Bellaric most likely gets banned out as well unless it's red side looking for the Bellaric pick.
Yeah.
My question is, when do we start seeing the Ling and the Harara on the ban list, and is that something that's going to happen? I feel like they've both been so powerful, so game-deciding, that at some point they may enter into the list. Almost even more important than the Freya.
Yeah.
Because Freya's been slowly leaking in as well.
Yeah. I posted something this morning about how crazy the trade is for EXP. You have Freya, Phovius, Esmeralda, Paquito, Barretts. I'm pretty sure there's a name I'm missing out there, but there's so many options that you have to consider in terms of like the topics you want to chase. And then going back to the jungle, it's like Nile, it's Kyle, it's... Okay, their names rhyme, but they're also really
Nile
good
Kyle.
with assassins for both of them.
In denial?
Yeah, in denial. I like that. So how are they going to balance making sure they have assassins available for their own team while still taking out the other? Because if you name them all out, the Fanny, the Ling, especially Fanny, Kyle and Nile would both want to really go for those two. The Hirara that Trex mentioned. It seems like just looking at the jungle picks alone is going to be tough. So this is why I go back to the roam. Will we see an earlier prioritization for something like the Cho? Will Hilda somehow make a comeback as a means to invade the jungle a little bit more? That's where my brain's going through.
Notably, we didn't see Cho at all in that first series.
Yep.
And what has been missing in the first 2 days is him as a pick. Atlas was heavily prioritized, either banned or immediately first picked, which opened up the Bellaric. He was banned alongside the Bellaric, like you said, Trex, earlier on as well. What has been happening, though, more so today, has been Eudora getting banned instead of getting prialed on that first 2. And of course, Freya also the first ban as well. So maybe that's a little bit of a different evolution of the draft, Trex.
Some of those things that are becoming more of a problem, right? Because the Eudora, it doesn't matter what assassin you pick, it'll always do well against it. Even if there's no Ling, even if there's no Harara, Eudora will always have a place there. Outside of that, we talked about the Cho a little bit. You know, I think Cho got a little exposed the other day. The Ruby was just a beautiful answer to it. And the Ruby's not something that's going to get banned out in first phase, meaning it always has a quick response. And normally if you're going to lock in the Cho, you might just lock it in that first phase, which means unless you're a last pick red side, that P3, most likely, I don't think we're going to see the Cho anytime soon.
Yeah, we saw it go well for Keyboy, but it also went badly yesterday.
Very up and down.
Yeah, it's up and down.
It's either going to work or it's going to ruin your draft.
Yeah, that's why you really have to prepare for it, I think. If any of these two would want to pick up something like the Cho. But then if you're Falcons, you're also looking at someone like Finn and acknowledging that he is one of the best Atlases in the world. He tore through MPL ID with that pick. And then now, so far, he's done a great job here at MSC EWC with the Atlas. So I think it's in consideration for taking it away from him, or you open the Valentina so that Vitality picks up the Atlas, then you pick up the Valentina for Haji.
Here goes that Ling ban though. So now Falcon on the gun of, do we ban out the Harara?
Right.
Or do we go for a possible trade? Because there's not much left with the Freya gone, the Eudora gone. I feel like at this point you have to ban the Harara. And then we finally get the answer of, what's left after that? Do we get one of those picks up front?
I think you can leave the Herrera open because if ever it's Herrera Fanny, that becomes a trade.
Fanny, yeah, I guess you have to leave it, and that's the trade.
And they take away the Atlas, actually,
Fanny's kind of, but you know you're going to have to pick it early.
Yeah.
Which means if Vitality says, we're going to take the Herrera, we know we get to get 2 immediate answers to your Fanny.
Yeah.
Well, they've got a chance to grab the Fanny here. We'll see how much they prioritize it on the Team Vitality. We know that Herrera's also available, so if Niall feels confident in that matchup either way, they don't have to force their assassin pick here, their jungle pick here, and they could try to prio something else. With Atlas gone, does Belleric become more important?
Oh, for sure. But I think if ever, it'll be Falcons who'll be incentivized to pick it up as one of the first 2 picks red.
Honestly, yeah, Belleric could just be up front, because either way, you get the Herrera or the Fanny or something else. You get one of the 2 power assassins.
Regardless.
It's not worth... They go for it anyway, so they take the Herrera.
Okay, so they get Herrera, then in terms of the theories that we've been making, then it's probably going to be like a Belleric plus a Fanny early on now.
Well, you take Fanny 3rd pick. Right?
Yeah, you don't need it now, right?
So Belleric and...
Belleric +1. Atlas is gone. What are the other big names that I'm missing out on? There's always someone that I'm missing out on.
Belleric and an EXP here, maybe. Belleric
is it exposing it? You know, if you have an EXP lane, like we've seen Barrett's banned, we've seen Paquito banned.
Yeah.
We've seen those be able to continually flex, Paquito specifically, in some double fighter compositions into the gold lane. Is that too early to grab something like that because you have more options? What's your idea, Trex? What's a good
I mean, a lot of
here?
time you do want to save that EXP. You see a lot of them save it for last, especially on blue side, but also sometimes you want to pick it up front. It really just depends on where they want to go from here. They go for the Valentina, a safe mid lane pick, something that's always going to be viable, and this still gives them some room to flex around. Selena's going to get locked in as a preemptive to the possible Fanny, plus you get some range. Not a bad answer to the Valentina either.
Yeah, I think of the Uranus. I think as much as they want the assassins, they have to decide whether or not they'll pick up their Fanny now or an assassin, or they go for their EXP laner, either in the Esmeralda or the Barretts. The Uranus will be playing away from the lane often, invading. Esme matches that, while the Barretts can also just be really annoying because right now Vitality doesn't have enough of a damage profile to deal with it early on, especially through the Selena. It's not going to be a good time. Then they start banning out things like the carries or Moskovs, if ever they do decide to pick up something like the Barretts here. So it's a tough choice for Falcons.
In a weird way, if they don't pick up the Fanny there, I was going to say, they risk it getting banned. But if you ban the Fanny, that means you leave something else open, like the Barretts, or the Moskov, which had been getting banned in this second phase. So both assassins on the sides of both teams. Niall able to get his, and Kyle able to get his.
I don't know, the Fanny feels so telegraphed. Like, you would think Vitality would be ready for it, right? The moment they know they're both open, it's like, okay, you're going to get the Fanny, and we're going to get a bunch of answers to it. Not completely sure how I feel about the Selena still, but I think on Vitality's side, they need some hard crowd control at this point. They went for the Uranus instead, which has a survivability against the Fanny, but still nothing to extremely lock it down. Yes, the Selena could land an arrow, but that's not a whole lot. They still need something, Kaja, Cho, some of those types of answers.
That's why Falcons decides to ban out the Cho for themselves.
Okay.
Also, I'm thinking that if Falcons are considering putting this Belleric in the EXP and we don't see the roam just yet. But with the Valentina, I think Belleric and Valentina already is a pretty good Roman duo that will provide difficulty for the Selena. So I think for EXP, if they're not going to go damage, then they go tanky. So as expected, I thought they will ban out the Esme. I think it'll be also very safe for them to ban out the Barretts. And then in terms of the really tanky EXP laners, the lineup is too mobile to pick up a glue. They might have to fall back into something like a Terizla, which is really slow. But you just want one lane that you know is going to be hard to kill.
Brody banned from the side of Falcons. They're going to be on first pick here. They do still need a marksman.
Pick Moskov, yeah.
Moskov could be a decent answer. You have the movement. You have the shred.
Already have the Belleric, so you don't really have to worry that much about the Claude.
I mean, just about it, yeah. I mean, even the Claude, like any of it would kind of work at this point. I don't think it's too heavy of a reason. They could, honestly, I feel like the marksman may be the better first pick here, and it still gives you a little bit of room to possibly get the EXP flex in.
Yeah. Moskov still available, still unbanned. So is Paquito. And 2 picks remain. 1 ban remains on the side of Vitality.
They're already taking their time. You see, it's Eman who's being very vocal in this phase of the draft. Oh. I think, instead of taking away an EXP, they were thinking, okay, matchups, gold, what are we going to end up with? I think if ever this is a Moskov, he's confident that his Claude will be able to handle it. So he just calls it to ban the Harith instead. So there was a little moment earlier you saw he was really being very vocal about it.
Great to see those little things in person, right? Dyroth comes out.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that very often, Trex. But we have seen it a little.
Yeah, we saw one.
From Flap?
From Flap.
Yeah, it was him.
Yeah, it was Flap.
Yeah.
This is a pick that used to get used against things like the Uranus, the Esmeralda. It was kind of a cheese pick back in the day, but it has the armor shred.
Yeah.
It has the burst damage. It is a high risk, high reward pick for me still. If it pops off in the early game, this could be a huge threat to everything down the line. If he takes 2 or 3 deaths early on, it's a wrap. He'll be useless the whole game pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, so they'll pick up the Badang here. And they'll go for the Melissa. I wonder if Falcons will lean back to a very old combo with the Dyroth, which was the Irithel. Because the mobility would help from getting away from the getting linked by the doll of the Melissa. I mean, most likely they're still going to end up with either, I don't know, maybe like still a Moskov, but no, they still go Claude, and they played with like one of the safest gold laners.
I'm going to be honest, Vitality, yes, they have a lot of defense against the Fanny, but not a lot of answers against the Fanny. You have the go away, which can stop you from getting dived on. Yes, you have the fist crack, some of those things from the Badang. You have the arrow, but outside of that, you have no hard crowd control for this Fanny, and it could be a problem.
Well, the lineups are locked. Coach Moody and Coach K-Dot getting their teams, Falcons, PH, and Vitality, ready to go. And this one, well, looks like fireworks are set to go off here at MSC EWC 2026. Our third series of the day is about to begin, and this is going to be a banger. Team Vitality and Team Falcons PH. Let's send it over to your casters to begin game 1. It's Brigitte and Gideon.
Thanks, Rain Day. This is an exciting day to be alive. We get to watch some of the best regions play it out here on our third series of the day of MSC. And for starters, we're already getting the classic Selena from the Maestro himself, but I don't think Haji is going to fall too far behind.
Yep, the mid lane matchup is something we're all watching out for, but just the same, I am so excited to see Kyle back on a Fanny all over again. He made a name for himself because of these kinds of heroes, and now Vitality will have to deal with this. And again, Trex did point out, most of their crowd control and potential lockdowns are just going to be on Finn.
Yeah, it really is going to be. And I think the important thing right now is whether or not those arrows not only are going to hit, but how you set them up. Because I think that Finn has such a difficult job, right? Not only is he looking for these big engages, he has to play off of the information from Niall and Shogun. But the hard part is catching this Fanny half the time.
Yeah, because like you're torn between catching the Fanny or also going for a backline play, because we see Badangs do that oftentimes, but that's more so when you get to the late game. It's depending on we get there, because I feel like both teams just really want to get that early and end this fast.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget about the potential anti-synergy, right? There could be moments where Finn actually... Oh, hold on. Flap might be in some trouble here.
Oh, no. Finn actually catches Kyle there, though. That is one answer to the question that we posed earlier. So as long as he just gets to press the buttons in the right time.
But this comes at a cost, right? Because Moreno has to be preemptively already waiting with Finn to make these motions happen, allowing the mid lane to actually get shoved in pretty quickly. Now, I mean, Moreno, he doesn't care about level 4. Level 4 or not, it's not the biggest deal in the world. He hits that arrow, it's kind of game over for whoever. But even Iman recognizes that you got to be scared of Kyle. You take a bad trade, you could just die out of nowhere.
Yeah, Vitality are so good with these anticipations against Team Falcons and their rotations, and so far they're the ones actually going to take this turtle for themselves. We saw multiple rotations from Falcons already, but every single one of them have been answered so far.
They have been, and I think the best part about it all is the fact that Vitality are playing super responsive to how Falcons are moving across the map. As soon as Kyle showed up bot side, they set up for the instant turtle take. They cannot waste any little bit of time here. They also have to be, just as careful to not put themselves in compromised positions. Top side, you really see that Shogun try to cut the wave. Notices Fanny is around, backs up to try and set up for Niall right here, because he's just too thick.
The moment Niall showed up, Falcons could just not commit anymore. Every single time, it seems like Vitality are just always prepared. They're not in any way taken by surprise by the presence of a Fanny, and it's something that they probably willingly played into, but that's going to be a setup onto Finn. Now they're trying to go for the burst. He gets caught once again, though. Kyle will make it out alive, but does Finn, though? He does not. Flap takes first blood.
He could have lived that. He couldn't live that. He wasn't 100% sure about the timing, about when Dairoth's ult actually finishes the channel. Yes, there's a bit of a channel time. He could have just pushed himself out of there, but wanted, hey, no abilities, I gotta just try and punt somebody backwards as best as he can. This is what we should expect, right? Falcons need to win this early stage of the game to get Kyle that advantage that we're hoping for, and it's not like the Ling. He's very dependent on that purple buff and can only do so much. It's not like you can just go back into your jungle and charge it all back up and you know, farm extra fast. It's all about, hey, I go in, if I don't have that purple buff, I have to recall, do it all over again.
Yeah, it's great adjustment too, I think, because they could not find the sides. They've been trying to, but they couldn't really get the sides. It's always been either Finn intercepting or even Moreno and Nile. So they just settled with Finn, who at the time was isolated from the rest, just trying to check wherever Falcons were trying to go for next. And I think it's a great answer. They finally found a way to at least get a slight advantage, though the gold lead is very insignificant at this point, honestly.
And honestly, a really difficult comp to pull off. I mean, I'm thinking about how Moreno needs to kind of keep up with everybody else, but wait, hold on first. Flap, he's already going to get chunked down to 50%. Now, Falcons, this might be a harder contest. They do have a bit of a regenerate for Flap, so he's going to top himself back up here, but I think the real question is whether or not he gets caught when he tries to shred down that front line, right? Whether it's front line or back line, that shred is only good for Kyle and Super Marco.
Whoa, Finn, are they actually going to go for open? The Wrath of the Tide as a response though, but they catch two, and now Nile is going to go down alongside Finn. Falcons actually take two and will win that trade instead, despite Vitality being the first ones to set it up.
And look at Ogwen, he's just blocking the shots. He's making sure that the softer members on his side don't have to worry about some tough angles that are being set up by Moreno. Is this a potential punish? No, he should be able to get out.
Oh, Blazing Duet used two, but even so, Moreno gets to dash away to safety. Shogun will try to block the rest of the members of Falcons, but they're not going to force it anymore. Still, though, it's a 3-0 lead already in their hands. Oh.
Maybe a 3-0 lead with 1.4k, but we're not seeing structural damage. We haven't seen... Oh, speaking of structural damage, Flap, first person there to actually open up, and surprisingly enough, he's the one who actually unlocks his lane first, which is great for him. But what does that mean for the rest of Falcons? Does that mean that he gets to walk around for free? I want to see how they utilize this Dairoth, because we didn't get to see a great showing the day before.
Yes, I agree. It was on a not-so-okay KDA, I think, if you look at it from the previous performance, but I think this is a much better spot for Flap now. He's clearly winning the lane, already taking that tier 1 up top, and the fact that he was also able to be active in the first few skirmishes and even pick up kills too, I think grants him a much bigger advantage to serve as a threat against Vitality, who at this point have mostly been responding and answering back to Falcon's rotations, but we're not seeing any of their own just yet. Or maybe it's also, in a way, an effect of having very slow clearing mid-duos in the form of a Selena and Badang. Oh, but hold on. Oh! Kyle will file Nile! And Finn all alone! It's a double!
Oh! I hate the fact that Super Marco, he's laughing about it already, and now they create another attack on the bottom side, and they can't do anything about it.
Eman just had to flicker out of that and use the go away, but Flap now is unstoppable too. With the help of the other members of Falcons, these are just two really heavy damage dealing heroes you're looking at already. It's both Kyle and Flap, and let's just look at that replay and how flawlessly Kyle just flew around these two members of Team Vitality.
Dirty outplay, dodges the immobilize, waited the iframes out, even dodging the knockback, and you see that Kyle's just like, nah, just another day in the office, try harder next time. And Vitality, they will oblige here because they're starting to siege this turtle. They want to make sure they have control, but more importantly, they're waiting for Kyle. They know he's around.
Yep. He's gonna take this first. Abyssal arrows are not connecting just yet, but at least you also see Eman taking part in this fight. Nile will yet to have to reveal himself, because Falcons are taking pretty good control of this. Vitality will change targets, though. They're just gonna go for Super Marco, but he still has the Purify! Moreno finally gets the kill, but he might just go down too. That's a 1-for-1 so far, and Falcons are chasing after Finn, but they might not be able to find him anymore.
It's not bad. Honestly, trading gold laner for mid laner, and considering that Moreno, really, he's not the one who wants to be able to absorb all this gold. It's Nile and alongside with Eman, so as long as these two are able to scale back up, it's great, but Finn might be in some trouble here. They don't want to contest this. This is not the position to fight for just yet, and Vitality understand that.
Yep,
kind of let go of this the moment that they went back after that kill towards Super Marco. He already also had to get his purple buff first, so Niall, I feel, is really doing a bit of catching up here in this game. He's already a level behind of Kyle here, and that's also probably one of the reasons why they just rather not contest an objective anymore, especially with Falcons just surrounding the area like that.
With the early game having to be played super defensively for the side of Vitality, it gives you very little opportunities to actually look for potential snowballs. And so far, I mean, Iman, he was doing a good job against Super Marco. Generally, both sides came out of the lane pretty even, but once all the reinforcements started headed down to that bottom side, it was inevitable that Super Marco was going to crack that bottom tier 1. From this point onwards, we're expecting that Falcons, they're going to get a little sly with it. They're starting to walk into enemy territory to steal away the resources, because dear God, Kyle, he's Batman at this point.
I would be afraid if I were Vitality and I was all alone, because I could just feel the presence of Kyle or maybe anyone from Falcons at this point just hunt me down with the amount of damage that they already have. And Vitality, I feel, is going to take a bit more time from them. Even if we say, let's say we say Eman part of the fights, he just lays down Doll, but other than that, you don't really sense much threat for Falcons, but now they're gonna catch Kyle. That is a kill that they definitely want.
Yep, that was the combo they were trying to pull off and got outplayed on that top side. This is the clean version of it, but they still don't get the conversion, unfortunately, on that turret, but they do slow down Kyle. Luckily, don't have to worry about the purple buff. It hasn't even spawned just yet, so Kyle doesn't lose too much in general.
Yeah, it is just gonna open up more opportunities for Vitality. You could see how they're trying to push their sides a bit more this time, but a concealed play from Falcons might just turn things around. They're trying to go for the kills! Look at how Haji sets that up beautifully, but the Wrath of Dryads doesn't allow Niall to escape, and they find one all over again. Abyssal Arrow onto Owen, though. Do they have enough burst damage to finish him off? They don't have it just yet.
No, they don't. Wow, that was an incredibly big mistake coming out from now, showing and in front of their faces, dashing. You can't reveal those cooldowns this early on. Only later in the game where it's not so bad, especially since Falcons are really out to get it.
Oh, Eman actually dealing a bit more damage now, but it's Falcons starting up this objective. They're bursting it down as much as they can. Abyssal Arrow does not land. Who gets the final hit on this objective? It's still gonna be Kyle, but Flap might get traded out here. Surprisingly, still survived. The Abyss of Strike cancelled out. Close call for Eman, but now he has to flicker out to re-engage or to regroup with Team Falcons. As Vitality might go for the chase, but they don't.
They didn't get the punish. They got the big cancels that they were looking for, but no conversions on either side. Even still, we know for a fact, hey, Falcons, Turtles, they're done for. Now we got to make sure that we can protect, because once we have to deal with this Iman,
Flap, so much damage, but he will go down relatively fast too. That's a less tankier XP lane that he currently is on, and I feel like Vitality will just constantly go for the punish every single time, every single opportunity they find.
I mean, they have to at this point, right? Can't give any options to their opponents. Super Marco now sure looking for anything across the map, and even for Kyle, he's just waiting, right? It's about a matter of information. Now should be okay here.
Another 1v1, but now you see Finn. Kyle will not fight him there anymore, as Vitality will still deal with the Lord for now and are forced to play defensive. They're about to lose more and more of their structures as well if they don't successfully get to defend this, but it's barely hanging on.
Honestly, this is great coming in for Vitality. Like, everything that could have gone wrong in the early stages of the game didn't necessarily hurt as bad. They walk away with some scrapes, okay. And Niall is still very, very bold. He hasn't backed down at all. And with the Malefic Roar on his side now, he can start thinking about hitting some of the bigger targets.
Yeah, we're waiting if Vitality could pull off the combo all over again. So I think a lot of this is on Finn, and whether or not he actually finds that setup all over again, because you could already expect the damage to come through, especially from Niall, especially from Moreno, and even Eman, but Falcons are just too difficult to catch.
Yeah.
They have so much mobility.
Zipper, if you could pull up the items for me, that'd be great, because I'm wondering where Shogun is in his item progression. He needs to get to a point where he's so tanky that he's able to kind of take first position on the far lane rather than letting Kyle hard shove it every single time, because Vitality have to be relatively close to each other to find these intersecting points in the mid lane in comparison to like Sin and Herrera topside. And now that at least that Niall and Kyle are somewhat even in the lane, it's a much harder 1v1 to win out.
Yeah, we gotta check those items later on. But even if Vitality do group up, okay, there you go. He does have the Antikyras and the Radiant Armor already.
But no Oracle. So again, if 1v2, there's a good chance he still dies out here. Lightning Truncheon already purchased, so he deals with both arm. Oh, wait, hold on. This could be bad unless Ogwin wants to flicker in. I don't see this happening. But that back here.
Oh, Kyle from the side though. That was close. Vitality really had to reposition themselves there. As Falcons just took the opportunity to get mid.
That was so beautiful. That was so beautiful. To the naked eye, it feels like nothing happened, but it was really Falcon positioning themselves and posturing, forcing the battle lines of Vitality. They don't want to expose their backs. They want the traditional front to back, but Kyle has so much of that pull. If Iman dies, this entire fight goes down the drain.
Yep. And now they take that mid turret just as the Lord spawns. So imagine the space that they could really play around with. Vitality feels very uncomfortable with just freely positioning themselves. They have no idea Haji's in this position either. And you mentioned something about Vitality grouping up and using it to an advantage, but they have to be careful of Haji. Haji's been stealing away that ultimate from the Badang, and that could be something to punish Vitality later on.
Wow, both of these guys, it's whoever shows up in the lane first, and Hirara shows, and guess what Falcons is going to do? Instantly take that space as Vitality are forced to move backwards. They know for a fact they got to clean up these lanes, but Niall, he's not wasting any time. He sets up the slow push and now is running back to try and collapse upon this.
Oh, Emma tries to go for the poke, and with the go away, they don't actually find the kill. Now it's going to be a clap back from Finn. It's a shutdown onto Haji. Super Marco finds Shogun. Doan will surprisingly pick up a double, but Eman is still alive. Do they still have hope? Abyssal Arrow will land onto Ogwen, and they find another trade.
That's exactly what you want to see. It's all about Iman here. Wait, no.
Oh, Flap, you have to avoid Flap. But Finn, the disruption. It could have been enough, but Kyle was just too quick to act. Eman trying to go for the chase on Super Marco. 1v1 Wind of Nature, and Finn finishes him off.
Yo, that was so sick. What timing on the Maestro must have. That's why he's the conductor. He doesn't miss a beat. What a well-timed arrow mid-air. And even Finn, he was looking at it. Look at this one more time, right? This big old fight happens. Everybody's going crazy with it. Ogwin, really the game changer with the Wrath of the Dryads. But later on into this fight, that intersection. Wait for it. Where's the arrow? He hits it, and then it all goes down.
And this 1-1-1 too.
So good. That was so crazy. Finn should be happy with that. Finn should be happy that redeems him for the early mistakes, but now it really just comes down to execution, and that's the truth of it, right? Falcons and Vitality both have a really good understanding of how both compositions need to kind of dance around each other. But that dancing gives more advantages to Falcon for the raw firepower. Vitality.
Oh, they find another arrow. It's going to be Flab. He's not as tanky, but Shogun's actually the one who falls out first. But with the Wrath of Dryad, and another setup from Finn! The iframes from Nile keep him safe too. It's only Vitality finding a 1-for-1.
Holy cow, this is only game number 1, and we are seeing that they are fighting tooth and nail. Ogwin should go down here.
He could not get away from that. But that's a response from Super Mario. But the go away will just shove him out. They couldn't go for the committed Haji. Nearly falling. Still has the ultimate from the Badang. But Vitality are going to play it safe.
They got to breathe. They got to breathe for just a moment. Kyle, he can still deal with these waves on the sides. It's just that main Lord force that they can't really deal with it. Super Marco will try his absolute best, but they're saying, you know what? We can't hold on to this. Let's give up this inhibitor. Yes, the long lane is not going to be in our favor, but we got Kyle to deal with that consistently.
Was that a chastise picked up by Kyle here? It's like he was forced to almost adjust his items just because of how good Emman's been positioning himself on the Melissa as well. Every single time he uses the go away, it's just so perfectly timed.
It's ridiculous, and I think this is super understandable, right? Why multiple people need to get the chastised pauldron. With the extended range, thanks to muddles, sometimes you're not in that range to actually get the slow to the attack speed reduction. At this point, you got to be able to hit the right targets at the right time, and as much as everybody needs to slow it down, it does eventually come to start biting you in the butt. I think that Iman has been playing perfectly so far, but I think this chastised pauldron from Kyle, he needs it just to go in, force to get away from Iman, heal back up, and return to the fight.
Yep, and that's something they can do. It's a Fanny, so you could just expect them to get into the fight fast. But Vitality, they've been holding this out really, really well. Finn gets to spot out a couple members from Falcons all over again. They're fighting for this purple buff. They don't want to hand it over to Kyle. But Open, will he be the sacrifice? Another off arrow from Moreno! He actually forces the Purify from Super Marco!
God, what are these angles? The Maestro finds it once more, building up to this big piece, but Falcons aren't completely out of this just yet. Man, what a turnaround. With such a good early game from the Falcons, Vitality have been playing some incredible defense, and now seeing them on the attack, it's a pretty difficult game for either side. A single mistake could predetermine who wins and who loses. We're already 18 minutes into this game. Ooh. The next Lord has spawned. Keep in mind, this Lord is vital. It's going to be walking around with some extra damage reduction.
Open goes for the concealed play because they spot Nile up top, but they're not able to get anything out of it. Nile's just going to really get away and now transition to the Lord. They might just go burst this down.
Yep, they're definitely going to burst this down. Let's see if the steal can happen. Here comes Kyle. He's thinking about it.
Okay, the go away is still available, but it's Nile who secures the retribution. Falcons want to go for the chase. The go away already forced out, but another arrow landing on Kyle. Do they have what it takes?
You're joking.
They find the kill on Kyle, and another setup from Finn. Together with the damage from Emma, with the clap back with the blazing dude from Super Marco. They actually get to trade out some kills. Emma's still being alive, though. It's not looking good for Falcons.
They're trying to go even further than this. Is Owen. He's eating the damage, finally. But look at that top side. Iman is running straight for the base.
Super Marco's the only one left here, but he couldn't do anything about it. Alongside the Lord in a triple from Nile. Team Vitality take game number 1.
Nobody's sad after that match. Nobody is going to leave their seats. We've got to see game number 2. You know what? They don't need a break. They can just go again. Give us more. We need more.
So many fans are happy right now. Fans wearing Vitality jerseys, holding up placards, showing their support. And that was a absolute close fight. You gotta give it to them. But you also gotta give it to Falcons. Like, they had such a great hold of the early game. So you just can't help but wonder, how did it turn out like this?
I think a lot of it comes down to Moreno in middle school.
Yeah.
He learned trigonometry really fast. How do you hit so many arrows on priority targets? Some who don't even care because they're on cables. Mid-air, we've seen Kyle getting hit by this. And as much as he was able to dominate this early stage of the game and even flap, they start to fall off. That armor shred is good, but the team fight, and especially with Finn's catches, man, that's going to be a tough pill to swallow.
Finn's catches, exactly. One of the main highlights I feel in this game. Because you put so much pressure on him already before you actually got into game number 1, because he's the sole guy who could just disrupt, who could just catch and set up for the team maybe. Aside from, oh my gosh, look at your face.
I was losing it. I was losing because of this catch right here. Right here. What an unbelievable catch coming in from Finn to set this all up. And all the while, Iman, he's playing a really, really hot game here today.
Yes.
I thought it was always going to be Finn and Moreno kind of making things happen. Sometimes you get Niall in the mix here and there. But really, it was Iman to be the foundation and the anchor for the team. And he played a phenomenal Melissa.
I agree. Eman on this Melissa, you guys just couldn't see it, but we're honestly sweating right now.
It is boiling up in here on the caster's desk, considering how much energy has been expended here on game number 1. You saw it from all the Vitality members. They all had to, crack open their waters because they were not only just communicating, they were shouting through and through.
I can imagine. I guess we were too caught up in what was happening here too, but I could faintly hear the screams. Also from Team Falcons fans, because imagine that.
It was so beautiful. It's great to see that now we've come to the point of the game where it's not just about learning about fundamentals, the different little types of matchups. Not only are they playing to their strengths, but it's about execution. And that's the beautiful part. Both sides have traded blows at this point, and I think that Falcons now recognize, okay, if we're going to have to keep this clean, we gotta keep it more standard. We gotta figure out a better way to start exploiting Vitality. And number 1, it comes down to whether or not they can get this Melissa out of their hands.
And I think for the last 3 or 4 team fights, major team fights at that, Eman was just always surviving. I always had my eyes on Eman for some reason because I just knew for a fact that Falcons had to take him out. And you could probably expect a lot of them to do that. It's either Kyle, maybe even Flap, because I feel like Flap went past the timers where he could just deal with Shogun. I feel like they really couldn't do the gyros into the Uranus all over again anymore, especially come late game. But even Flap couldn't find Eman.
But here's the thing, Flap, he's going with the build that he had. He's going for that full tank.
Yeah.
Obviously, he has a component just to give him a little bit of damage in the early stages of the game. But then you see moments like him diving into that mid tier 1, trying to clear that wave and giving up his life. He is not at the same level as Uranus. He is great at tread. He is great at sustain. But if he's not in that middle of the fight, hitting multiple targets to get the heal, he's not going to be as tanky as you think he is.
Yeah, it was really good execution, honestly. Vitality, I knew I had a feeling that this was the kind of game we were getting ourselves into before the series started, but I did not expect it to be like this in game number 1. Started with game number 1.
I'm losing my words here. We're going to be throwing it over to a quick interview with Luke to see what his thoughts about this pregame about. It's too much. Let's throw it over to Luke, man.
Is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
Tu mochila pesaba más que monumento, contractura de espalda trajiste de recuerdo. En la teleasistencia te dieron el remedio. Te cuesta
Cuando tenés Universal Assistance, cualquier urgencia médica en tu viaje te cuesta cero.
Pro player, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah.
Enjoying Paris?
Yeah, enjoy so much.
By the way, why are you here?
Because I'm fans of Vitality.
Fans of Vitality? Not Onyx?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, but more Vitality.
Yeah, more Vitality.
Is it because you're close with them? I mean,
Because
they are
I'm
your ex-teammates.
Vitality right now.
Oh, you are Vitality
Yeah.
right now. Okay. Speaking of Vitality, you caught the match yesterday. It looked like it took them a little bit of time to finish out that game. Was that a result that you were expecting?
Yeah, of course, because I know they're so strong, right?
Okay, so it took them a while, but you did expect them to win eventually. Is it because of the meta right now? Because a lot of people are saying that this meta favors Indonesian teams more than the Filipino teams. Do you agree with this?
Yeah, I agree because right now Assassin meta, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think both of team in Indonesia are really good at Assassin. Like Nanail and Kyrie is so good.
But I mean, on the other side, we have Sakai's from SRG. We have Zaur Egoist earlier on. We have Kyle, Carl, TZ. Are they not good on Assassins?
They good, but I think I'm more biased on Nile.
He's biased on Nile.
Nile is so good.
Nile is so good. It's not just because you guys are close, right? You actually think objectively he's
No,
good.
I'm not close with Nile.
Oh, you're not?
Yeah. It's my enemy.
Oh, he's your...
Yeah.
What happened?
Just... I hate him.
Okay. You hate him, but you're supporting
but
Vitality.
I support him, yeah.
Very interesting. On that notion, do you have a message to Team Vitality who's going to go up soon?
Just give space to our maestro, Moreno, yeah? He will carry.
Carry. Moreno, the maestro, will carry. Do you maybe have a message for Onyx?
For Onyx, yeah, good luck. Yeah.
What is that smile?
Good luck for Onyx, yeah. We hope this EWC can grand finals to Team Indo.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. But what about the fans back at home? I think people are waiting for you to say something maybe to the Indonesian supporters that are watching right now.
Bahas aja ya.
Boleh.
Gue cuma 5 hari guys, ntar gue restream nonton gue ya.
He said he's going to be here only for 5 days, so watch him restream.
Yeah.
I'll watch you restream.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Luke,
thank you
for
so
your
much.
time. And we're going to throw it back over to you guys.
He thinks he can come in here and play my game. Let's go. He knows nothing. Let's go!
Tyler 1, you're done.
Raw energy. House for ball, blow the house down.
A lot of people are haunted by their past. I'm inspired by it.
They're not just playing for themselves, they're really playing for their entire family.
They have defeated their demons. They have crushed the curse.
I went and grabbed Glitter Explosion once again for a little update from the Gidea City grid. How's things going today? You've got a couple of days at your competition, but things are heating up, right?
Well, they are. I mean, we're already into our finals. We have a 3-day-long finals. Day one has started today. Now, we're only one match in so far. However, to kick things off, we already saw a big win out of T1, and they weren't even one of the teams that we touched on in the beginning, but they are in that CC race. However, 3 days of finals means a lot of gameplay, and we still have Navi at the top of our leaderboard heading into finals. We have Liquid, we have Falcons, we have Vitality, we have AGAL, Twisted Minds. So
it's busy.
This is really busy for our finals.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, look, we've got a lot of going on there, so we'll be keeping up to date as much as we possibly can, but it sounds like there's going to be huge implications in the club championships. Lauren, thank you very much once again. We'll be checking in throughout the rest of the week. Thanks, guys.
Welcome back to MSC. There's some great people in the crowd who want prizes in between our games. Okay, just so y'all know, I got number one, but of course, we got to make the people in the crowd very happy, and they got it. Welcome back. We're heading into the draft. Trex, I feel like everything that we said about the draft from game number one, it hit. We saw how Vitality struggled early on to deal with the Fanny, but then the inevitable happened. The Melissa, and of course, when that Selena and Badang started hitting together, they were unstoppable.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I doubted the Badang and the Selena a little bit there. I did not respect the game completely, and though it took some time, once it mattered, once they were able to buy into that late game, it was on. That final big play with the fist crack followed up by the arrow, completely foreseeing Kyle's entry into the mid lane and just stopping in its tracks. Very well done by Vitality. Now, will I say that the draft was a complete win? Will I say that I think honestly they won that game off of skill as well, right?
100%.
Both teams had the ability to win that game off of their drafts, which means coming into game two, anything could happen here, right? It's definitely possible for Falcon to tie things up. Both teams have shown that they know what they can do in their draft. And it's definitely possible for Vitality as well to pull this off and look for the 2-0.
And it was such an entertaining game because we got to see both lineups do their thing. As we mentioned earlier, Falcons got to do their thing for majority of the game. But then Vitality, with their sheer mechanics and skill, as you mentioned, were able to pop off, make sure that Melissa and Eman was the one who was bulletproof in the previous game. So Falcons goes ahead and bans out the Phobius, trying to bait out a reaction towards a potential first pick of Freya for the side of Falcons. But we also can't forget about some of the major trades that we have through the Atlas, the Valentina, and other great picks that we still have in the meta. Marcel is still open, by the way.
Falcons will opt for that blue side first pick on this. Quick fun fact from Kyle. He has said that they're very strong, Vitality. Niall always bullies me in scrims. Just don't bully me in the tournament too.
So it's a little bit more context to what Niall said earlier with the interview with Eterna about how he sees just him and Tianji as the top junglers here mechanics-wise, based off of results of the scrims, but not referring to what he believes when it comes to the tournament space once you're there on the stage. So the Valentina gets taken out here by Falcons now, with the Atlas gone. Yeah, that forces out the Marcel ban. So far, it's the bans of Falcons are more on forcing Vitality to ban certain heroes.
Yeah, and it's a little bit different than last time. We're not going to see the Valentina this game. Marcel banned out. Will that Ling be banned out? Last time it was Vitality on blue side who decided to ban out, which forced the big trade of either leaving the Fanny open or not, and Falcon called the bluff and ended up paying the price for it. Now with Falcons putting in their last ban, we still have all the assassins up. Jushin also still available and open. Freya still available and open. With things like Valentina and Atlas and Phoveus getting banned out, it means that there's a lot to trade up on, and Falcons want to go for that trade. Whoa. And while they're doing it, they take out the Selena, which I think is a good play overall. Do more of a target ban and leave some of those prio picks open.
Yeah, I think at that point, Falcons are already deciding the possibility that the Seleno is going to come in way early, similar to what we saw get drafted earlier in MSC. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, that was Vitality who was able to do that in day number 1. So a lot of great options here available for Falcons.
All right, so Freya, Ling, and Fanny all open, meaning Vitality could go for the Harara ban.
Yep.
Could definitely go for the Harara ban. They could still get a Fanny or a Ling, or they can go, I mean, for any of the 3 essentially, right? They go for the Frey instead, which I'm a little surprised about, but still very viable because they still get the Belleric, that means, because if they wanted to go Freya +1, they would have had to give over that roam position. Falcons now deciding, what do we want out of the big 3?
Yeah.
And what do we want to respond with? They go for the Eudora, which didn't even see it. It's a hero that I still have to get used to.
Yeah, same. Eudora as the first pick. Because with the Valentina getting banned out, they have to be wary of picking their jungler right away. Because Vitality, they are encouraged to pick up the Belleric in the first phase. With the Valentina gone, then Falcons won't have their own Wrath of Dryad to steal away. And with the Atlas banned by Vitality as well, they might just pick up the Belleric here and now.
Hey, did they just go for the Belleric Harara? They went the same thing as last time, pretty much.
Belleric Harara, Belleric Ling. Honestly.
Or just either don't even pick up the assassin because you're going to get one of the 3.
Yeah, it's like you have such a wide field to play with. You could just adjust. A lot of options here for Vitality, but because
left for mid lane.
Okay, so they will get the Ling Belleric as expected. Mid lane for Moreno. Let's see if they're still willing to play the Juice in later on, maybe into Red 3, Red 4. But I think a lineup that can clear the mid a little bit faster for Vitality will encourage them to take control of the river and make sure that their Ling is happy.
Does Falcon commit once again to an assassin pick, or do they try to switch things up here a little bit? We've seen a lot work against the assassins. They go for the Fanny once again. In the Barats into the EXP this time. Do we think we're going to see maybe something crazy and get the double fighter off? The only time we've seen the Barats so far is when there's also a fighter in gold or something of that nature.
But it's tough considering that Vitality is going to be coming back at Red 4 as the first pick, and they have bans. They can just take away the Paquito. The Freya's already gone. Usually when we saw Barrets in the EXP and then it's paired up with another fighter in the opposite side, it's either just the Paquito and the Freya, unless they're going to dig deep and go for something else, like maybe along the lines of a Ruby, but you don't really see enough picks that would warrant that. I think they can just double down and play the traditional in terms of their gold lane option, but let's see how it's going to go. Melissa is still going to be the pick here for Vitality, and the problem right now is for Falcons because of their picks. They don't have enough that long range reach to really mess up this Melissa. With the Ling, with the Belleric especially, Eman might be on the way to another bulletproof game.
Looking good for Vitality in my book, at least for first side of this draft. At least in terms of how they were able to make everything work last game. Don't get me wrong, the early game could still be troublesome for them. Falcons had an amazing early game last time with the Fanny pick and everything else behind it. So Falcons maybe want to also run back the same type of game, but just play a little bit better, close it out a little bit faster.
Maybe. Oh, wow, respect on the Minotaur of Ogwyn. That actually could have messed up the lineup of Vitality. At least that wider reach might give Falcons a moment to not get peppered by the basic attacks of that Melissa. So maybe the fact that they're not going, they're going into the second phase of the drafting without their Ogwyn pick just yet might hurt them. Atlas is gone, Belleric was taken away, the Minotaur option's gone.
We see the Badong ban from Falcon this time.
And they did. Good call, Drax, good call. Still respecting the possibility that the Belleric will suddenly show up in the EXP lane. Belleric, who would have thought, would end up becoming a really poisonous flex pick for MSC at EWC 26.
All right, so now Vitality, last ban on the field. Take out the Minotaur. Do they keep going into the roaming position? What is really left at this point?
Really trying to run through the names of roamers, but in terms of the top ones we see, these are like the main trades, unless Falcons are going to pick up something like the Cho.
They could still be a possibility.
Yeah, at least there's going to be a moment where you will be able to knock up the Melissa in her ult, but then you'll get yeeted out of the dome right away with a getaway. But if they're going to play this Barris and the EXP, you're encouraged to be able to rotate fast and clear fast in the mid. You need a concussive blast roamer with this Eudora. They might still just end up picking up the Cho there.
Cho could definitely be a possibility.
They get close out with a Cho Moskov, maybe, for Marco. Wouldn't be too crazy. If Vitality are looking to, and if they're willing to, get a mid laner that has to shred damage for the Barriers, they might want to go and consider the Lunox at the center of the map. Oh, Sora getting taken away. Oh,
Lunox definitely not a bad pick. You get the Brilliance to get away from the Fanny as well. You have some defensive capabilities. You don't have as much range against the Eudora, and you can still get one-shotted. You know, it's because the Eudora is just so quick about it, you don't have... It could be dangerous. On the side of Vitality...
They do need to
lock in your mid here and save the flex.
Yeah.
Save the EXP flex, the possibility.
Yeah, at least you have room to adjust and surprise. That Belleric, I think it's something that's making Falcons scratch their heads. They banned out a roamer, they banned out an EXP option, so that is still definitely something they're thinking about. Is Vitality going to be picking up here? Maybe a little bit more range through the mid or a little bit more shred. Which route are they going to go? How about a little bit more sustainability? They pick up the Esmeralda at the EXP. They do show their options already for Roman EXP. You're just waiting for their mid laner now.
So you just, like you said, we pick up the Moskov for Falcon.
Yeah. Moskov and
Do you think
Cho.
They could go something like the Kaja here? Something to pick off this Ling?
I think for that...
Ruby roam?
Just of how fast... Ooh.
Against the Esmeralda? Possibly catch the Ling whenever he dashes in?
Yeah, but tough considering the Belleric and the Melissa, so... It sounds like it's 50-50 because you're getting a lot of good things, but I feel like the bad things you get out of a Ruby Robe surprise might be worse, so... Kaja, in terms of pick-off, I can see it, but I still lean towards the Cho. They go for the Brody, okay.
One of the few heroes that can probably get... that can put out some range.
Right. This was one of the picks that Falcons have already shown here. The Akai roam for Ogwen. They get the Brody. Kai and Eudora in the center. It's fast, clear. Not as fast in the rotations, but it will be annoying for the Link to deal with in the team fights. But again, the problem still stands. Will they be able to reach this Melissa with a composition that Falcons has? Their front line needs to be stalwart. It needs to hold for a long time so that Brody could get the stacks off, pop that torn apart memory, melt them front to back until the Melissa has to get away.
So last pick for Vitality, still need a mid laner. Yve's open, we haven't seen that in a bit. Jushin. Jushin's also still open. They just go for the Jushin, right?
Yeah, something that we mentioned also. Could be good and could be annoying for the Akai. You're going to be forced to use your dashes. The Vexana. Because of the Akai and the Barrets in front of you, and it does have a lot of disengagement protection for the Melissa.
Yeah, definitely a great answer. Overall, we've seen it picked once before. And even when before I was kind of questioning it, we saw how well it can do with the stiff arm, with the ability to get that Terrify. Something similar to the arrow, not as long stunning as the arrow, but something still similar, right? So if he can make some of those quick picks, drop down the Warrior in the nick of time, it could be detrimental to the way they want to play this game.
All right, that has been it for myself and Trex here at the studio. Will we see another game where both teams get to do what their lineup wants to do, or will one of them dominate? One to either advance right now or to still hold on and force a game number 3. Bring you over to our casters, Brigida and Gideon.
5 seconds. Thanks so much. It's going to be a good day here today because we're all hoping that this is not going to be a one-sided battle. We need to see a repeat of game number 1 where both sides are basically turning this MOBA into a fighting game as we jump into game number 2. Team Falcons PH on the blue side, facing off against Team Vitality on the red side. And let's go through this composition because again, that Vexana last pick actually is pretty genius here. so good at like just not only peeling off, but becoming a legitimate threat to the front line. It's like Ogwin at a certain point will not be able to take that kind of damage from Moreno.
And it's like adding an additional front line to your lineup in general, which I feel would work out really well for them, but that's multiple pull yourself together.
So many. And now, instant evade here.
Oh, Fork Lightning, stunning multiple members, but Kyle, unfortunately, had to be the first one to go down in this fight. A not so good start for Falcons, but they traded out with the Roamer, which I don't think makes it any better.
It does make it any... can somebody punish this? Yep, there we go. Haji goes down and Moreno survives as Ego challenges it. No problem. Full faith that the rest of the team... I mean, Moreno got the last pick. He was ready to give that kill over and trade his life for Nile. Like, he did not care at all. He has done his job, and he knows he's going to do it again and again and again.
Okay, that looked really good with Fork Lightning just catching multiple members too, though, but I guess you have to really pay attention to this being a Belleric and you just potentially being caught again. If Moreno went down here, I feel like that would somewhat equalize things a bit, but the fact that he didn't, I really feel like Vitality got the better out of that. But also, I feel like in terms of compositions, I also want to point out how at least with the Akai pick, they kind of forced out the Purify from Eman. So that might make things a bit better for Falcons too when it comes to the team fights later on.
And that was something that I was trying to figure out, right? I was talking to you telling like, man, how do we force this Ballista to actually take the Purify? I think Ogwin has got a pretty good answer to that. Falcons already have this first position, and I don't see it happening as bot side is getting attacked.
Yep, Super Marco looking like the target here. Doesn't have the ultimate yet, but he doesn't need it anyway and will survive. Just had to burn the flicker nonetheless, but at least he didn't have to go down with that attempt.
Yep, all he lost was his flicker. He still doesn't lose out too much. And even you can see Eman making sure he's doing his due diligence, throwing muddles into tri-brushes to open up that side of the map for him, just in case anything... That was a Daytona's welcome.
Oh, on to Shogun, and with the help of Kyle, they actually pick up the kill. So this is a different approach to the combos that we saw from Vitality. It's a Barret's and a Fanny working together now.
But I do think it was interesting, right? They already knew that it was going to be Barret's playing into Shogun at this stage of the game, right? And I think the only way that Shogun actually has any chance in this lane is hitting and trading really well against Flap before he gets the stacks. Once he's gotten to that enraged Dino form and he can start doing the stomps in the middle of the wave, he will out-sustain Shogun until Shogun gets that enchanted talisman.
Yeah, he didn't have the Purify at that point too, right?
You're right.
So
yes.
There was just no way to really get out of it, and he had to accept his fate right there. Owen gets poked down a bit here, though. He still have a couple seconds before the next objective spawns, but Falcons have been just quietly increasing this lead that they have in their hands.
It's still a small lead. We saw how game one went, so until we start seeing like a 5K lead, something closer to like the 6K, then there should be, you know, a sigh of relief for all the Falcons fans out there. But for now, 2-2, a pretty even score as Nile has been hopping around and stealing away camps here and there.
He actually got that gold crab, I feel, using the retribution forward though, but it's gonna come up again once the objective spawns anyway. But I feel like nonetheless Vitality will struggle to a certain extent when if they wanna contest, because it's an Akai still that you're dealing with. It's not an Akai jungle, but I think that makes it all the more difficult to deal with, because its primary objective, it's not split between having to secure the objective and having to zone out. It's just really zoning out.
Yeah, that was a... I'm going to touch on it later, but for now, the fight.
There you go. It's the heavy spin pushing them away, and now Vitality are unable to contest for the objective. But the flicker in from Spin and the falling star from Shogun. The knockup as well from the Eternal Guard. Flap actually finds one, but that's a Purify used by Shogun, so he will be okay. Tempest of Blades coming in from Nile. Kyle trying to look for his target to go away. He had to change target. And the Terrify from the Deathly Grasp. He couldn't just freely cable his way through the fight.
That's a 3-for-2 trade in favor of the Falcons here. And I think that Vitality, it was a pretty good idea. Overall, if they got Super Marco at the end there, it would have been 100% worth it. But just look at this Wombo combo, right? How do you deal with this? And this is why I think the Vexana is so good, because now it's not about priority targets. I do max % health damage. Build what you want. Hey, you know what? Build 3 Guardian Helms if you really want to.
Yeah. So far, Moreno again and Eman have been untouched in this game. And it's starting to become a problem, I feel, for Falcons, because you even saw how Flap was just so decisive in wanting to go for it. Hold on, Ogwen. It's not a good time to be.
Look, he's not lagging. Both sides are not lagging. They're playing a perfect ping here at EWC. Iman is baiting him to do it.
Oh, they're all going in for Haji! Couldn't survive that. Now it's going to be Kyle trying to look for a trade, but he will be unable to find Niall. Now it's Finn setting up with the Wrath of Dryad. And now they're in the jungle of Team Falcons.
Darn it, if only Niall had just a little bit more energy, he could have re-entered that fight to take Kyle out. But now they've kind of used everything at this stage. They got their profit, they walk away. No point trying to greed out for more. And I think the Falcons this time, they need to kind of break the battle lines. I think instead of Flap having to target some of the other characters here, I think he might need to just jump on Moreno, but I want him to go for Iman at the same time. It's just a tough call.
You really have to think hard about who your target is going to be because it's very single target, and Haji has just not been able to have the same free time as Moreno in this game, in the series at least.
Yeah.
Moreno has been too free. The way that they've been linking together with Finn has been such phenomenal performance from Vitality so far. But now let's see, because Falcons are setting up for this turtle.
Oh, interesting. Conceal to push Shogun out of position, allowing Vitality to reveal themselves first. The big issue is that Finn has that flicker and Wrath of the Dryad, so, I mean, they've got good counter engage, so somehow Flap and Ogwin need to poke out their targets. I would argue that Haji needs to as well, but there's so many times where as soon as he shows up, that's an instant engagement from the side of Vitality.
Yep, at least Ogwin now somewhat finds his way back to the turtle pit, but Eman is feeling like a zoner right now. The way he just puts Muddles out there and deals a certain amount of damage towards the front lines. It's not just making things easy for Falcons, who just want to position themselves around this pit. Ogwin now below half HP! Flap doesn't land the Daytona's welcome, and the heavy spin flicker combo just to get away, but Ogwin might just be the first to fall here in this fight. It's a killing spree for Moreno. Kyle doesn't even have his purple buff yet, and Niall's not allowing him to take it freely. He still has a retribution, but he can't get close.
This is a scary game. Holy cow.
Holy cow.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, Flap could not stand that. What? Where could he go? There's not much mobility you can rely on as a Barretts either. It's just the Daytona's welcome charge, and that's about it.
This game is kind of ridiculous because it's really a game of chicken, right? It's whoever backs down from the fight first, and unfortunately for Falcons, for them to reposition, it's a lot harder in comparison to Vitality, who again are playing all for one and one for all with Iman here, who's doing a phenomenal job of keeping himself alive, and best yet, he's almost single-handedly getting Ogwin to use the heavy spin on him.
And when Kyle went for him, he didn't even feel the need to use the go away just yet. He's just that much ahead on this Melissa. Again, 0 deaths in this game. No one could target him. So you could just sense that he perfectly mastered the timings in which he is supposed to use the go away, and that's posing multiple problems from Falcons right now.
Yeah, and every single time you see Kyle trying to contest, trying to get a set. Wait, hold on.
Okay, Eman still has the Purify, not using it yet, just uses the go away, and it's gonna be enough to push Ogwin out. Kyle trying to go for the engage with the Wrath of Dryad, once again catching members. Eman's though alive again.
No.
Falcons are low, and Niall is here for the cleanup.
No.
Even under the turret, he's fine.
Kyle missed one cable, the most important cable from the destroyed structure of the turret. It just slipped right in between. I thought it was going to connect, but there was just too much noise in the middle of it to be accurate. Let's look at it one more time. Because again, Owen keeps him locked down, but as soon as the go away is done, Kyle instantly takes out one target, looks for the second, but that last cable didn't connect, so he couldn't get that last bit of burst, allowing Iman to reposition. How unfortunate.
It just got a bit too messy, I agree. It's so unfortunate. Now you feel the responsibility that Kyle has right now, because at that point, Eman was within reach.
It was. They were. And I think that right now, if they just need Super Marco to just live for a little bit longer.
No, what? Okay, that was a warranted attempt from Falcons. They finally get the kill onto Eman. Finn now left alone, using the Wrath of Dryad, still surviving for just a bit longer. Niall, though, does he want to go in? Will he find a target? He will probably wait a bit more and just play it safe for now.
And I love the fact that Niall, they both understand each other's composition. So now, just existing, just putting himself in a position where he is visible to the Falcons will make them second guess, hey, We don't want to greed this out too much. We already got what we were looking for.
Yeah.
Finn and Iman are down. We can take first position at this point. Now, the next problem is Moreno until Iman gets back to the pit.
Yeah, and that was unexpected. You wouldn't really expect Sir Super Marco and Haji to be the combo to take out Eman, but I guess the damage really is going to come from them now. It's Kyle securing the objective, but Nile goes in. Haji very low on HP. Eman is going to finish him off, and the backlines are being taken care of as Eman's just really throwing out these needles. Shogun being in the face of 3 members of Falcons, and now there's a Daytona's welcome coming in from Flap, but he will not survive this attempt. God flying in! Go away, keeping Eman safe, but Falcons are going to settle with that.
Man, that was nasty. Shogun purposefully just standing right on top of Flap. As soon as he saw the Daytona's welcome, all he had to do was position himself just a little bit further to make sure people step away. But just look at this, right? Instantly, they find a big punish onto Haji, right? Nile had to quickly use that Bladed Tempest. If not, he was gonna get locked down into this wall. But look at it, Shogun instantly, he zones Super Marco and then walks back into the Daytona's welcome to get eaten, allowing him on to get the free hits. Luckily, Kyle and Flap communicated. We can at least blow one of them up.
Yep. Now it's a Blade of Despair pickup for Nile, as well as Moreno gets a Blood Wings. Falcons are going to utilize this Lord to at least equalize and get a bit more map control, though.
Stolen. Nice. Nice. That's going to take away a little bit of influence coming in from Nile. He can't just do whatever he wants willy-nilly. He will have to go into a side lane and then recall rather than walk his butt back. But you know, considering everything and considering game number 1, Vitality have shown that they are great on the defense, right? They pulled the lead back onto their side, and now they're just handing it back over to Falcons until the next Lord's fight.
Yep, they have a lot of ways to deal with a player, honestly. It's a Vexana, it's a Melissa, and you just really can walk up front knowing that they have muddles, knowing that they have a potential Eternal Guard dropping down on you at any moment. So they will somehow still be able to deal with the Lord, and this is still a very small lead that they're seeing 12 minutes into the game. So I feel like even Falcons at this point would be very careful and would not really assume that they're in a complete advantage just yet.
I think, honestly, they recognize that they're actually at a disadvantage until Haji is able to close the distance onto Iman and one-shot him. I don't see this game going the way that they want to, because even for Super Marco, right, his damage is, yes, great against structures, against heroes, sure, it's fine, but the big issue is that he's running Sky Piercer. He's the big finisher. He cannot keep up with the hard DPS that's being pumped out of Iman like an absolute sweatshop factory. He's getting kicks out for everybody.
Yeah, Iman right now, it's great that Falcons had found a way to deal with him, but it's only been that one instance up top. Other than that, let's see how they deal with it this time. That's the ultimate already coming out from Haji. Vitality are still going to be okay, though. Kyle trying to fly over the other members, but Moreno, did you see that? He was just like walking, avoiding the cables. Not even much reaction coming out of Moreno in that sequence.
Yeah, does Nile have his purple buff? Because I saw Haji throwing out his ultimate like, you know, his life depended on it. Luckily, Nile does actually have his purple buff. So good. At least we know that Haji, he's willing to throw his ult out. It's pretty short cooldown at this stage of the game. And I think this next Lord spawn, it's a make it or break it for either side. They're dead even in gold. Majority of the outer turrets have been destroyed. It is a very awkward parallel between the two.
I'm so not used to seeing this small of a lead already 30 minutes into this game. It's literally insignificant. It's so close between Team Falcons and Team Vitality right now. Both junglers on the opposite sides, but it's just going to be recall for now.
Now, it's about, I think it's the macro, right?
Yep.
At this point, it's how do you get under and how do you figure out a good timing? And I think that both Vitality and Falcons, they're junglers, right? They're not showing themselves on the side lanes. And Vitality have at least a huge advantage when it comes down to poking them out. Because every single time, right? Ogun walks up, Iman instantly throws out muddles.
Yep.
Waits for the cooldown, rinse and repeat.
Watch out for Haji, though. They got to watch out for Haji. They got to check where he is.
Oh, he doesn't know. They have no idea now. Wait, is Finn going to double check it? He might.
Okay. They still don't know.
Oh.
Because I don't think it hit. I don't think the first still connected.
And it doesn't reveal the entire bushes until it connects onto somebody. You're absolutely right with that. But Nile finally gets the endless battle and his position. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Hey, Finn, you're walking straight into something. Okay, now they spot Haji. Eman is gonna be fully aware that Haji will be positioned at that spot, but it is going to be a quick reposition. Falcons are really trying to play around this glass cannon pick of potential for Haji.
Yeah, they're trying to like slowly slot him into that backline, and Kylan as well as Nile. Oh, good stuff coming in from Nile, instantly revealing him, and now Vitality should have a little bit more confidence to start walking back up into that first position again, and maybe set up a slow push down on bot side.
Yeah, but it's Haji. It's Haji and Ogwin walking up top to support! Kyle, did they kill and take down Nile? Vitality might want to commit to this fight here in the Lord pit, though. It's a flicker from Flap, gets cancelled out real quick. The knocker from the Eternal Guard and the heavy spin from Ogwin. Flap is gonna be traded out. Ogwin looking like the next target, but Vitality have to play it safe. Kyle is within the area.
Ooh, nice movement coming on from Aman. Kyle was thinking for half a second, if he keeps running away, maybe I go for the chase. I saw the stun get thrown out. I saw the taunt get thrown out. And more importantly, wait a minute, the Wrath of the Dryads has come back off of cooldown, right? Finn has been holding it for the longest time. And even though they don't have their retribution for the next 7 seconds, they're trying to make sure that Falcons, hey, you're going to fight on our terms, on our turf.
Okay, they're starting this. Nile's gonna be back. He's going to be back real quick. Ogwin now facing the damage, already below half HP. Haji already using the ultimate. Kyle showing up behind, but they're just going for the Lord! Kyle! He's shut down by Nile!
This game, the conceal. Wait, Finn, he might flicker for this, but now underneath their own inhibitor, that conceal is going to keep them safe. The trades have been beautiful from both sides. What a tight game this is, and really just showing the extent of Melissa. She can sustain underneath the Lord, no problem. Throws out Muddles. She can not only kill the Lord, but also poke out Ogwin at the same time.
And deal with Kyle. It's crazy to think how Eman is able to do this on a Melissa.
One man, 3 problems solved.
Now they're taking one base turret down bottom, and they still have the Lord marching in the base. That's an immortality pickup for Finn. They're getting poked down. Oh, the Daytona's welcome not connecting. Flap now getting knocked up and taunted as well. He's already very, very low. But Nile, he gets caught. Eman just trying to deal with the base turret for now, but they don't have any minions left. Another Eternal Guard and a wave coming in mid.
Yeah, but they have nothing to worry about as Ogwin tries to pull them away, forcing out at least one flicker. Oh no, turn around!
A flicker from Finn to set the Wrath of Dryad in place. And it's only Kyle, Haji, and Ogwin left to defend, but can they? They're approaching the base. They have minions left. It's a
like
flicker from Haji, but Eman, he's still alive!
And the defense is successful from Falcons. Haji, despite all the damage thrown into his face, manages to hold on. There's one more wave though. Kyle, he's gonna have to pull it somehow.
Eman got his HP back, but does Kyle finish off the kill? He had a bit of nature. He couldn't, and another muddle setup. Haji finds Shogun, but the heavy spin to push the minions out. Can they do this time?
Come on, Iman! It takes out immortality purchase with a Haas Claw. He's going to be able to sustain. Finally, this might be a Super Marco. Doesn't make it in time. And there you have it.
A 2-0 for Team Vitality as they secure the knockout stage.
Oh, what a beautiful game. Oh my goodness. I needed to see just one more game. That would have been great. But now a new problem has arisen. A polished Melissa coming up from Iman, solving 3 unique problems all at the same time. The tournament meta is starting to evolve and really coming into its own.
And it feels like each team has their very own version of it.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy. I'm speechless because this early game, right? This Vexana pick really came in clutch to kind of work in the same way as the Eudora. You want to hurt your opponents, but at the same time, the big problem with Eudora is she's oppressive when she's ahead. But she, unfortunately, similarly to Moreno on this Vexana, are hyper squishy and are very useless once their cooldowns are depleted.
Yeah. The only times we really got to see them maximize the Eudora burst was when they had to burn the flicker alongside it too. So that put Haji in a very vulnerable position already, and that's something they just had to accept because they weren't able to really make anything out of it if they don't make these certain sacrifices. And Vitality just take advantage of it every single time. Oh no, look at us again, we're just losing it. This series has been a 2-0, yes, but it did not feel like a 2-0.
It was not a close 2-0 at all. Every single moment, I think unfortunately for the Falcons, right, you cannot just out-mechanic these boys anymore. They're going to have to rethink it. The tournament meta only develops as we continue on. Let's throw it over to our victors up on the stage with Rose for the interview.
Oh my goodness, this match literally blew my mind away. Team Vitality winning 2-0 clean sweep up against Team Falcons Philippines. And right now we are on stage with Shogun. How are you feeling after such a crazy game?
It feels great, but we need to improvise something that we could do better like that.
I agree, but that was already an amazing game, you know. It's your debut in the international stage. You have already qualified for the knockout stages. Shogun, I gotta ask you, how are you planning to spend your time? Perhaps maybe an off day, walking around Paris?
I think most likely we will practice more, but yeah, maybe we have a chill time also, but not as much as practicing. So the focus is more practicing than the others one.
I like that. You guys are very focused. Head is very in the game, prioritizing practice and scrims over, you know, experiencing Paris as a whole, which I'm pretty sure you guys can do afterwards, as after all, this is definitely your home ground. Now, let's talk a little bit about the game, because currently this new meta, this new patch is driving everybody insane. We are seeing so many incredible new picks coming out in the Land of Dawn. But for you, as an EXP laner yourself, how are you actually adapting to the meta in the EXP?
I think as an explainer, it's not much to adapt, but my teammates, I think my teammates adapt a lot from the meta, but I think we win on the good line right now. That's all.
And I think you guys are definitely on track. Now, you know what? As you head onto the knockout stages after today's win up against Team Falcons Philippines, how does this win actually boost you guys? Are you guys like morally even, I don't know, better? Are you guys more confident heading into the knockouts? Or are you guys still just chill and taking it one step at a time?
I think not boosting, but I think we treat all our enemies the same, like that. We treat they're the same, so confidence is all up there.
Oh, wow. Okay, I like that. I like that. Very humble. You know what, Shogun, I know a lot of the Indonesians are, I'm pretty sure, very, very happy to see you guys taking the second ticket to the knockout stages. Is there perhaps any message you want to tell them?
I think, yeah, just we wait and see. Wait and see.
Wait and see. And as you can see, Mirko is there screaming his voice out. Thank you very much, Shogun. I'll see you in the knockout stages. Once again, congratulations. That's it from us over at the stage. Showing it back to you guys at the studio to break down what happened in the series.
Rose, MPL Indonesia's champions, Team Vitality take the win, and they move on to the knockout stages, which guarantees at least $100,000. What a big moment for this team, and what an organization that is on the run in MLBB across both sides, women's and men's MLBB. Vitality taking the championship at MWI last week here in Paris, so a great start for that org. Welcome back. I'm Rainday. Joining me is Renmar and Trex as we continue. I'm getting a notification. I think that's my daughter FaceTiming me back in LA, just waking up. So that does mean we're getting close to the end of the day. But to wrap up the series, Renmar, I mean, what's the takeaway from you? What did you notice about why Vitality was able to be successful in a pretty contested game too?
Mechanically gifted and busted. Finn and Moreno, I was saying, busted. I was saying it during the restreams for the MPLID playoffs. Finn and Moreno are my favorite Roma duo right now. Coming out of Indonesia, they're just so good. Finn, the timings. It's like the teams from Indonesia, and even not just Indonesia, teams around the world have finally met a perfect marriage of the macro that has helped the Philippines dominate for such a long time and marry it with their own great mechanical abilities. And Vitality is a great example of that team.
Trex, you agree?
I completely agree right now. And I think there was some doubts before this tournament came in, but Vitality is showing all the naysayers that not only is their draft and mental gifted, but their micro, the mechanics, everything was just on point in those two games.
I liked seeing the draft kind of continue to develop. That last game, we got to see Barrett's opened up again.
Yep.
And we also got to see Eudora played against a Vexana. And to me, we were talking a little bit about it, Renmar, in the green room.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a great answer to Eudora. I think it puts, as Gideon was saying, her behind in lane quite often. And when Eudora's behind, she's not the same, would you agree, impact as when she's ahead?
Yeah, there's just something about Eudora's pick, which is why I've been quite passionate about it online with my post this morning, saying teams have to really consider deprioritizing her.
Yeah.
Because Melissa has come back up, and now Vexana is an option. And you can definitely say, because of the lack of range, this is what we've been saying for 2 drafts now, the lack of range to really mess with this Melissa means the Vexana, especially this one, just supplemented the Melissa even more.
Yeah, I think the reality of what we're seeing is even some of these teams haven't completely adapted a full meta just yet. We're seeing answers happen mid-tournament. This isn't something that they were all completely prepared for.
Yeah.
And Vexana, back in the day, what was it, about a year or so ago, was meta, and she was so good against some of these heavy, bulky fighters, these people that want to get up close and personal with you. And that's why we're seeing her slowly come back against things like the Barats, against things like the Esmeraldas, against a Eudora who doesn't have long range. Some of these types of compositions that want to kind of walk up towards you, and we're seeing already counter picks happening once and once and once more.
In my experience of just watching and enjoying learning about the game, I saw, differently the approach of when I saw the steal. I'm forgetting the character's name, but she steals ultimates. The Valentina, who is being the choice most often, and they were letting sometimes the Atlas go, knowing they have the Valentina.
Yeah.
But then that was requiring a really aggressive approach to get in and use that ultimate, which is for a tankier character. Do you think Vexana might actually be a safer, more reliable answer to provide some CC and then ban the Atlas? You don't have to try to counter it?
Yeah, I think for the Vexana, in this specific makeup of the draft, it made a lot of sense. Again, because of the Eudora not having that range, the Barretts needs a lot of stops. You're trying to protect one piece of your lineup that needs to stay alive in the Melissa, making it even so much harder to kill her. Yes, the one kill that they got onto the Melissa was because they were able to find the combo through the Eudora, but that was just once. It was so rare. In the end, you saw how Falcons was struggling over and over again just to get Eman done. They couldn't.
I mean, honestly, you might be onto something, Rain, because the games that we're seeing those Vexanas get picked up, the Atlases have been getting banned out. So for future drafts, it could be preemptively telling us something. When those Atlases get banned out, maybe be prepared for that.
Yeah, I think it's so cool to see how this meta is developing and how good all of these players are. These players giving us insights into what they're thinking. These conversations, as you saw Shogun have with Team Vitality, going to continue into the off day, and that is going to make a world of difference as they have a chance to watch Group B. Let's take you to the schedule for the rest of the day, because we have one more series coming up. Group B will be tomorrow. We'll do the exact same thing. So we'll send 2 teams home. We'll see, and we'll send 2 teams to the knockout stage. We'll send 2 teams to continue playing. But Team Falcons meta in Group A and Ignite Gaming, that is of the latter consequence. One team will be going home. One team will be continuing on. And that is high stakes, about as high stakes as it gets. Trex, any words previewing that series for you?
I think it's going to be I think a lot of people are thinking it might be one-sided. I believe it could be a pretty close series. I think it might go the distance. Falcons meta, yes, a great team. Ignite had a bad showing in their previous game, but I think they still have a little bit more in their pocket, honestly.
51-49, who you leaning?
51-49. You know what? Because I know which way he's going, I'm going to go Ignite.
Okay, and you're going Falcons.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier.
Well, I want to know what you guys think, the audience as well, because we have our tournament pick'ems. Get them in right now while you can. You have a chance to let us know whether you agree with Trex, maybe you agree with Renmar, maybe you're 50-50 like most of us here, waiting to see what happens. Let us know in your pick'ems. We'll show you the results before the game goes live, and then afterwards you can tell us in the chat if you were smarter than all of us. Coming up very soon, we're going to have that next series, and I cannot wait for you guys to be here with us. We'll catch you right after this short break.
Go, pre. Nice.
Ano na, Buri, ah?
Ayaw mo. Arit na ulti, set. Ready, touch. Bale. Kilin. Batin, ay, tawa. Trips. Nice ba? Tama naman. Nice try. Nice try, bang. Try.
Isang dahi, guys.
No, tailing.
Go, guys, behave Lara.
Nice one. Imaw. Half clean.
Tingin sa akin, Vic.
Clean. Wait ba? Wala kang skill ba? Canara, Koy. Nice one.
Nice one!
Hi, big one, guys. Big.
Nice one.
Nice! Moy.
Let's go!
Minyan.
Let's go!
Nice one. End first. Alpha, Vic. Maharapan ko to, ah.
Mabubuhay din ako.
Kaya, Deb.
Si Teddy lang.
Wait, light up. Wala pure si Ted.
Bigyan na.
Gaya, alis ako.
Kinain.
Makulit pa ako, ah.
May ulti ka sa Sanji, ah.
May ulti ako.
Ulti rin ako.
Boy pa ako.
Mga low, pre. To, sa akin, pre. Gonyo.
Wala sila skill, pre.
Sa akin, pre. Gonyo.
Puro low. Nasunog ako. Ginagawa ko lang. Babalik. Harley. Pakito.
Binata ka.
Hindi natin kaya, pre. Ang damage.
Flash will out jump. I go crossing.
Anlaş. Go son. They can't do anything.
Go tower.
Kesin bunu ya.
Kesin bunu.
Yut. Just kill Belerik.
We're on Belerik. We're on Belerik.
It's okay, we don't have.
I have guys. You good? Arlot.
Just kill Arlot.
Careful, link. Nice. Bakın nice amına koyayım. Link 1 HP.
Ada WP. Bisa. Oke. Aja. Kontol gede banget.
Savage gak?
Langsung aja. Nanti aja.
Coba kayak.
Gampang itu.
Coba. Gua 2-1 ya.
Try mo.
Kayak. Kontol gitu tuh. Dia spawnnya dekat banget sih.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
Support your nation with 16 games across 4 weeks in November, all in search for the ultimate prize. The Esports Nations Cup in November. Check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have games I am very beloved with there, and I can't wait to see what other performances we'll see across all our communities in gaming. Also, if you saw some of those comms, thank you to Saudi Radio Comms for helping to get some insights into what the players might have been saying throughout their games. We'll be sure to check in with more of that coming up later on in this week. All right, as we return back to it, Renmar and Trex, it's time to start filling in the gaps here. That means one last series. It's going to give us our final team that's moving forward to continue playing. It's going to also, as our final match of the day, also send one final team home.
Yeah, I think for these two, they got to play fast, man. Play fast, play rough, play hard, because it's potentially your last showing. You don't want to go out on a whimper. You want to go out in a bang.
I'm glad you added that second one.
Thank you.
Yeah, it may honestly be time to not take things slow, get aggressive in the beginning, try to catch your opponent off guard, don't leave it down to a late game possibility, to a let's just wing it possibility. Try to own it. And if you can control that early game, just convert it into an easy win.
This is going to be a difficult one for sure. Team Falcons PH is going to have a chance to play against the winner of this game. So it could be a Team Falcons matchup. Team Falcons Meta, Team Falcons PH. Organization wouldn't mind that. One moves through. Of course, I'm sure they'd rather both move through, but that's not going to be possible because if Falcons Meta aren't in that matchup, that means Ignite Gaming won and they have been going home. So on the other side, Ignite Gaming, that's a team that we need to pay attention to. You were leaning a little bit more towards that, Trex, and you're 50-50 because, well, Renmar had already chosen the other side. What do you like about Ignite?
I just think we have Diablo. We have a veteran, someone who's been doing this for a very long time. We also saw some great plays from this team the other day. Even with their loss, they still showed up at some times. And I think when it comes to some experience, they do have that there. Don't get me wrong, Falcons Meta is a team that has also been around a very long time, but it just feels like sometimes they fall a little short.
Team Falcons Meta. That's the real conversation here. They made it through the wild card. This was the team that filled out the bracket. They're filling out our bracket again as the final match of the day. Where will they go? We don't know this time around. It was a grueling fight, but when you look at their roster, they've got guys who can do it. They've gotten the job done already. It's now a matter of can you get it done on maybe the biggest stage at MSC. We had a chance to sit down and talk with Falcons Meta and their roamer Troll a little bit earlier today.
Hey everyone, it's Eterna, and right now I'm here with Troll. Welcome, Troll.
Thank you.
Troll, we find ourselves in an elimination match, so the pressure is high, the stakes are at an all-time high as well. Pressure check, pulse check, what's going on in your head right now?
I think we don't have pressure, we'll just play our game.
Okay, no pressure, you just play your game, and everyone feels the same way?
Yeah.
No one's nervous?
No one's.
I like that. I like that. Now, I got a chance to talk to Boyet, I think, earlier on, and he mentioned that, you know, coming into MSC from the wildcards, you guys didn't have much time to prepare. Is that right?
Yeah, we didn't have much time to prepare for the batch, the new batch.
Okay, so how's it been going so far? Like, do you have enough time now?
Yeah, we've had enough practice, and I think we'll do better.
Okay, so you've done your homework and everything. What do you think that you could carry from yesterday's loss to your match today?
I think on yesterday's loss, or the day before, we like throw the first game. We throw the first game. Like
who threw?
It was a team mistake.
Okay, it was a team mistake. And then you saw that, and then what happened after that?
We talked about it, and we played some scrims, and we fixed it.
Okay. So during, you know, tournaments like this, who do you usually scrim against?
It depends on where is the tournament. If like it's in Paris, there is not a lot of teams, so we scrim on the teams of the other group.
Oh, okay. Does that make it challenging for you?
No, it's okay.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, speaking of challenge, we've seen the rise of assassins since, you know, wildcards. Now it's been like so prominent. Does that change something for you as the roamer?
No, I think it's okay. I've played against assassins before. I don't think it's a problem.
No problem whatsoever. No pressure. I mean,
no, it's okay.
Did it change maybe your role in the game?
Yeah, maybe I can target the jungle a lot more. Not like the jungle tank meta where the jungle would just use just utility. The turtle lord.
Okay, so what's your favorite go-to hero right now in this meta? And what do you think would be more popular?
Probably, I won't say.
Okay, you won't say. You won't say. But have we seen it before?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Is it it's not a healer, it's not a support.
No, it's not support.
It's not a support. I'll let the panel figure that one out. But, you know, lastly, I do want to ask if you have a message perhaps to your fans back at home.
Keep supporting us and it will help us win this game.
All right. Once again, thank you and good luck for your next match. And we're throwing it over back to you guys.
Thanks, Eterna. Great interview there with Troll. Didn't give us any clues on that one. However, I don't know.
I have a guess.
Belric, Atlas?
My guess is Cho.
Cho.
I mean, that is his favorite pick. Like, historically, he's really good at it. But that's just a guess. I'm not thinking anything. I'm straight up guessing.
It is Cho.
No, I don't know.
So that's confirmed.
I'm straight up guessing.
Clip it, guys. Clip it. It's confirmed. It's Cho. And let's see the response as well. Clipped back. And Cho's like, what? I never said that. Okay. My job trying to get Renmar in trouble. Fake trouble, of course, as well. So Ignite Gaming, I think the question is, this is a team with Diablo. And Diablo is kind of, we were prepping a little bit of this conversation. Is it trying to get him to do Diablo things? Is it try to get this roster to support him as we take a look at the players on Ignite Gaming for him to succeed? How do you draft? How do you pick? Both these teams suffered convincing 2-0 losses the first time we were able to see them. So the question is, how do they bounce back and get back in sync after that? We actually had our main man LaFell earlier this week do a little game with Team Ignite to see if they could find out if they would ever mesh quite like they needed to in order to win this set.
Hey guys, my name is LaFell, and we know the players have good teamwork in the game, but how are they in real life? We're gonna be playing this or that, where we see whether they're on the same page or not. Right now, we're with Ignite Gaming with Kevin, CS, as well as Roy. So if they're on the same page, they're safe. If not, they're gonna whack each other with the hammer. So we're gonna have 5 questions here. So the first one is, if you have to choose, would you rather eat a croissant or a baguette? Which one would you guys like more? All right, so we got a few croissant connoisseurs for the next one. If you guys can choose to do one activity, would you rather guys go for a Seine River cruise or go to the top of the Eiffel Tower?
Yes, go top.
This is the cruise.
Oh, but you.
So now we'll see what happens when the alarm rings. This is something that everyone struggles with.
Yep.
And you know what? Who likes to wake up anyways, am I right? So now, this is gonna be a pretty controversial one. We'll see how you guys feel about this. You go here if you feel like the GOAT is Messi. You go there if you're all for Ronaldo. This is gonna be the final one. When you try have a nice French dinner, would you rather go with Diablo or Jay? Hey Jay, you got a friend. So you guys were not completely on track. You guys will have the hammer where you guys can whack each other. It's okay, it's an inflatable hammer, so there's like, just go for it. What? All right, that's good, that's right. So that is Ignite Gaming. I kind of feel like whether they got it right or wrong, they would like to have that. So good luck for you guys at MSC, and we'll see you guys next time.
Now, what I would have loved is to come back with those hammers on the panel and all of us to get in that game. That was fun.
Yeah, can we get that?
I want it.
I wouldn't even need to play a game. I think I'm just straight up whacking all of y'all.
Turning in what an incredible international competition for MLBB. Let's check out the broadcast and just swinging some hammers, having a good time. We do that too here at EWC. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying this one. It's been a phenomenal day. Our final set of the day, our final series, we've kind of previewed a little bit of Falcons Men and now Ignite Gaming. Trex, I mentioned Diablo. Kelvin is a great talking point here. Who stands out for you?
I think Kelvin, honestly. I think the whole team, we're at a point where we know Diablo, right? Diablo's been around. He's been in multiple internationals. Now it's time for the rest of the team to show up, right? It's time for the rest of the team to show that they can also be names. They can also be mainstays. They can also show that they belong in that top 8. And the only way they're going to get closer to that is by winning today.
Yeah, Kelvin was a standout, and I think a lot of people, despite the tough loss that Ignite suffered against Team Spirit, a lot of people were pointing out that Kelvin looked pretty solid.
Yeah.
And I agree with Trex. I hope this continues to be a name-making performance for Kelvin. Diablo, he's going to be there. Hopefully we just gets to draft heroes where he can actually be, really felt in the map, if you guys know what I'm trying to get on here. But yeah, Kelvin for sure, for Ignite.
And Troll on his famous Joe, right?
Joe, which is, of
his
course,
favorite secret character.
Which is, again, just a theory.
No. It's real, guys. It's real, right? Let us know in the chat if it's actually happening. Imagine it is a Joe, because then that would be like the best call of all time.
Yeah. Right. That'll be looking good for myself, but then the men and boys might come up to me and say, hey,
don't give our secrets away.
Why did you say that?
Yeah, don't give our secrets away. My friend Mar knows so much. I mean, I'm excited to see how the Melissa starts to have an impact? Was that just last set that we saw the impact? But I mean, it was 2 sets in a row now that we've seen Melissa be prioed, and sometimes like that pick that counters 3 picks.
I'm wondering how many teams are actually ready to use that. And Mon, obviously exceptional on it, but I feel like he's had a bit more experience playing this hero. And I'm wondering, yes, I do think we're going to see more of it, but how many teams are ready
That's a good
to
question.
actually slot it in, and how many gold laners have played it as much as some of these other players?
Do you need the same micro to be effective with Melissa the way that you might have that conversation around hitting Aurora iframes and min-maxing that, item buying, and all those crazy things?
I think it's a lot about positioning for Melissa.
Okay.
Yes, there's some micro, but so much of it is more in the sense of where are you on the map? How good are you at kiting back and forth? It's a very different type of micro than, say, a Ling or a Harara, right?
Yeah.
And it really depends on the mastery of the composition with the team.
Yeah.
Like how well does the team position around their Melissa? Vitality positioned around Eman and their Melissa really well in those 2 games.
I'm curious, you know, if this is going to be as even as we think it is in terms of the votes. I know we may not have the pick'ems up yet. I'm curious what you guys voted for yours as well.
I think it was up a minute
Oh, it was?
ago.
What was it?
83%.
Oh, 83% for
83%
Falcons meta. Wow, that is a lot. Okay, so a big Falcons fan base here. I mean, EWC Club Championship winners 2 years in a row, so there's no issue with that as well. Team Falcons meta, they headline our final game of the day, and as we continue to move on in this series, we're sending 1 team home, and unfortunately for them, that will be the end of this tournament. However, 1 team fighting for their life, which makes this a must-watch. Don't go anywhere. Let's send it to the stage and kick it off.
In the previous match, boy, was it interesting as Team Vitality drops Team Falcons to the lower bracket. Milosh, how did you feel about that?
Honestly, I saw you how happy you were also the preparation after, right? Falcons so far not really soaring too high, but that is only in the context of qualifying to the knockout stage, right? And that's the upper bracket. That's the other question. It is not done yet for Team Falcons PH.
You are right, but this may be the last match of the day, but to one of the teams, this could potentially be their last match of the entire tournament.
They've heat, they've hot, and maybe it'll be their last caca. Let's bring out our first competitors, Team Falcons MENA! It has been a long, dark, and lonesome road to qualify for MSC 2026. That first step was successful on wildcard, but the pressure is fully on at the moment. Will the journey be over before it even begins for our MENA boys? We're about to find out.
Oh yes, we are about to find out indeed. And of course, going up against them all the way from Singapore, it is Ignite Gaming! They are hungry for redemption. Starting off their journey incredibly shaky, they need to move out of their comfort zone to make it out alive. But the question is, do they have what it takes to reignite their fuels for this match?
One thing's for sure, they're going to need to light up the stage here against their opponents, the Team Falcons MENA. So please, gentlemen, I will give you the space here. Ignite, please, Team Falcons, you may place your keys. Gentlemen, take your seats. And of course, team captains, prepare for our handshake. Might be the last one. It will be for one of these 2 teams. The fist bumps are in. Our game is ready. Our final one for today. Elimination on the line. Who can survive? Who will go back home? Team Falcons, Team Ignite Gaming. Let's get it going.
Survival is on the line. Team Falcons MENA going up against Ignite Gaming. Diablo, I asked Trex, he said, we know about him. We need to see something from Kelvin. We need to see someone else step up and make this their moment. Will it be Jay on the roam? We've seen so much impact from Bellerix, from Atlas. How deep will that pool go?
But to add to the question on Jay is, Roy, will he be able to step up against Coffin, who of course is one of the more iconic Valentinas that we've seen throughout the history of MLBB Esports internationally, which we have discussed as one of the top picks to watch out for. Think about it from the perspective of Falcons, how tough it must have been to go from winning and going through wildcard and then suddenly the meta completely shifting right under your feet. That is a tough task.
Well, as these teams prepare, make sure to get your Happy Rhino Day interactive effect. MSC and EWC has so many fun collaborations here, and so this is new in shop. Make sure to grab that and spam it in your games. Happy Rhino Day, everybody.
Happy Rhino Day. Have you got any of those yet?
I think
I can't tell whether she's...
I pressed so much buttons and claiming stuff. I think I got the Lily already.
Fair enough, fair enough.
The really funny looking one.
I like the ghost Layla. I don't know if she's a ghost or if she's scared or exactly what it is, but...
Yeah, it's like that anime reaction of just like something bad happens. Like, oh.
Hopefully, well, one of these teams will be making that face by the end of the day, sadly. Back to Diablo. You know, in that interview we saw the other day, the one with Eterna, you know, where she was blushing. That interview, he said, we're probably not going to do any cheese picks unless we get a little bit farther. But honestly, with this being their last game, do we think there's going to be something a little crazy coming out? And in all reality, the teams that have been getting a little crazy have been getting favored. Some of those off the top drafts, some of those thinking outside of the box picks have been working out. So this might be a time for Ignite to dig deep and look for something different.
Yeah, but at the same time, I know I was asking for it from Diablo. I keep bringing it up. We look for the more impactful heroes, but it seems like because of the assassin in the jungle, it would be best if you get an EXP laner that can just hold really well. Yes, the Paquito is still an option and it's great, the Freya, but that's not going to be let through here by Ignite themselves, as it could be first pickable for Falcons Mena. It looks like it's more important to just have stability in the EXP lane, be unkillable, and then the other team would then be forced to try to go into the gold lane. But because of rotations, the Roamer and Mid are there. And then what happens in the jungle? Things like Hirara, but it gets taken away by Mena.
Yeah, the jungle's definitely going to be different here. In the moment I saw that Ling, I'm thinking, what if Falcon just bans out assassins here and completely switches how things are going to go? Let's try to revert back to that meta we were comfortable with. And what's the way to do that? Take out Hirara, take out Ling, take out Fanny.
But then, so that would, in my eyes, shift them to, let's grab Atlas early. I think if that was the case, because if you ban it out, and I think the thing we did see is somebody tried to grab the Fanny and prio it, but then you leave a 2.
Yeah, okay, yeah. You're right, it looks like it is going to be an Atlas priority with the Valentina getting banned out.
So and I think can't steal.
Yeah.
Unless Ignite leaves the Fanny open?
If ever Ignite, I think Mena might be okay with Fanny going through. And then they're just going to pack a lot of heroes that will disrupt its jungle rotation, which is easier said than done.
Waiting on that final ban as well. You guys said that you need to find a way to distinguish yourself, maybe be a little bit unique. Throw out some of those picks you weren't expecting. This is your last chance. You're either going home or you're moving on to another elimination game after this. There is no time to waste. And it's interesting, the Atlas ban comes out.
So Ignite roll the dice here. It's okay, fine. You want to leave one assassin open, we will leave you the Fanny. Can you pull it off? Can you first pick Fanny? Because most of the time that is not always a great choice. A lot of the times Fannies are, you know, at least back then. Ooh, but the Marcel.
Yeah. Marcel goes through. So they forced out the Atlas ban. They don't have to worry about the golden hour of the Marcel getting taken away. And now then they can get creative with how they're going to pack it. If ever they do want to go for the utility jungles, they can go for their Fredrins, they can go for the Kimmies, they can pack up the Granger if they want the combo with the Marcel. If they're just using it to disrupt, then Ignite Gaming will have to double down on the fact that they want damage. So yeah, this is Falcons Mena softly trying to force Ignite Gaming into the meta that won them through the wild card. Exactly as you mentioned, take away the assassins, and this is a little bit more how we were seeing the draft back in wildcards just a week ago.
We haven't seen the Marcel yet in play, at least for this stage of the tournament thus far. I think we saw a little bit maybe in wildcard, but not quite.
It might have been played once.
Yeah, at least once.
But has made it through the ban phase at least once.
Yeah, but I think only one. I mean, it's not been prevalent. I mean, what's the strategy too? Because I was going to ask with Fanny, and now you see the Gord coming out on that side in the Akai. Do you play your hands, your card too early? Do you give them 5 picks, 4 picks to build against what you're clearly going for, prioritizing?
I don't know, Marcel's just monstrous, and honestly, Mena's doing a great job at not showing their cards at all. This Akai could be roam, it could be jungle.
I don't know, so it is already jungle. They have the Marcel.
Oh, yeah.
in the row. Yeah.
So yeah, then maybe they are showing their cards a little bit.
They are honest with it, but I think they would like to be honest. Again, your prescribed approach for MENA was to just straight up bring it back old school, take away those assassins. And I mean, again, it really feels like I just went back to the wild cards. Who knew that just taking away the Hirara and Ling would result to this in the draft?
And Ignite's answering it with old school as well. The YSS picked up.
Yeah.
Paquito, a little bit of flavor, but Zushin. I mean, overall, here's the thing. With Ignite's draft right now, you have the Paquito, most likely going to EXP for Diablo. You get the YSS. They're looking like a lineup that could go fighter, fighter.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that against the Akai, though? And against the Marcel?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the tough choice here. I think if MENA still, Falcons MENA, still ban out the Esmeralda, then it might be a little bit of a over-respect towards that possibility, because you already have the Marcel and Akai together. That double fighters might be too disruptive, but let's see. Belleric in the roam.
Arlot banned from Ignite.
So Arlot Belleric taken away as our second phase of bans begins. Each team gets 5, and it'll set us up for our final 2 picks. 1-2-1.
The more I think about it, they might just double down on the double fighters. Sustain the sides, keep it strong. Or if ever they send the Paquito into the gold, keep that as an open option. But then the Akai means you lose a lot of damage for that. It might be best to just put it in EXP. But the Esmeralda is still open. It makes sense that Ignite would want to pick it up, because if ever you get the Esmeralda for Falcons MENA, then the Paquito EXP is pretty much scuffed.
I don't know, MENA is still kind of lacking in burst damage, lacking in damage overall. You have the Gourd, yes, but without a sufficient combo to really make that magic gush hit, there's not a whole lot you can do with it. So MENA definitely needs to round out, and I don't think they want to go for a Shredder, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Claude is exactly what you want to pick up.
They might double down on what we saw from Onyx during their very first game. Just get a Granger with a Sky Piercer. Yeah.
Well, looking for that gold, you would assume, right?
Yeah.
Side of...
We're thinking maybe
MENA.
the Granger for the burst damage, something to give them a bit more of a big hitter. They already have the Shred with the Gourd. They need something that's going to, pack a punch against this YSS, against this Jushin, something that can have some range.
What if they do They should just pick up the Esmeralda here, right? Esmeralda then Gourd to round it out. Oh, okay, they go Uranus. Oh,
and the Clint.
Oh, yes.
So the burst.
Clint.
Yeah, still pretty much like the same approach as to wanting to back up the Granger. And it is well supported with the Gourd, the Marcel, the Akai, and the Uranus up in the front. The Gourd with it in case someone gets to penetrate their formation. So this is a great balanced lineup for Falcons MENA.
Yeah, so you like it.
Yeah, I like it. But Ignite, I do like the Minotaur too. The range of MENA with them wanting to get close and create space. The Minotaur with a Flicker and a Minoan Fury might just break the formation of Falcons MENA, meaning that's enough space for the Yisun Shin to wreak havoc. Ignite now pack the Barrets in.
So we go for the fighter off. We go for the funnel strat into the YSS. Definitely some danger here against a golden hour, against the heavy spin, against the Magic Gush. This is a composition that wants to group up on the side of Ignite, but still it can look overwhelming. One big play in this type of composition can dominate a team fight.
Yeah, I like this Barrett's, though, just for the sole purpose that it might make Boyet overthink of when he wants to use his heavy spin so that the Detonus Welcome won't affect him as much.
Ignite Gaming sees the Melissa do well. They ban it out, do the double fighter. We'll see if the burst from Clint is able to be enough for Team Falcons MENA. The panel likes it. Let's see if our casters like it as we headed over to begin our final series of the day. Ignite Gaming versus Team Falcons MENA. Let's get it going.
Thank you so much to the panel. We sent one team home earlier today for our first match of day number 3 here at MSC.
Welcome.
Now we will have to send a second team home. Welcome to the Land of Dawn. I love it. Panel likes it. I love it. I love the drafts from both these teams. I like that they're going back to just comfort, right? Not necessarily the most meta picks, but it's what they've won with, especially in their own domestic leagues.
Yeah, we don't even know how do we define the meta, honestly, at this point. So the fact that we're just seeing some of the more common picks nowadays,
or at least in the past 2 days, such as the Barretts, and it's going to be in the hands of Diablo too. So that's also something I really like from IG, because finally they're playing something that's much more similar to the playstyle that we know of them.
Quick emblem check right here. Pull yourself together, ready for Cuffin. Weapon mastery for Sano as we see CS go for the lethal ignition and the Festival of Blood, double tenacity and a whole lot of agility. And I think in this meta, even though you might not want to play these meta picks, you still need to rely a lot on that agility. Now let's talk a little bit more about Falcons meta and IG, right? Wildcard winners, Falcons meta. They usually do very well in the group stages of internationals. Unfortunately, this time around, sent down straight into the lower brackets. Now IG, Singapore, they've been on a tough road. The last few internationals just bombing out of events, completely eliminated on first day, second days, and now it's time to prove that they still have it within them to contend for the knockout stage.
Yeah, and a lot of questions, right, for both of these teams, especially coming from a 0-2 sweep, a loss in their first showing previously here in the group stage, and now Falcons meta, it seems like they're still playing a very similar game to what we saw from them in the wild card. That's why it was also pointed out in the panel earlier that it feels like they're just drafting as if we were in the wild card, but I can't blame them. This is something that's very comfortable to them, whereas IG, I think they're the ones who switched things up a bit. So now we see the Barretts and the Minotaur in their hands, and they're setting up for this first objective of the game.
Even Diablo on an enabler instead of a carry. Kelvin's waiting in that bush. It's an all-out fight for Turtle 1.
And that Diablo is very, very low, but it still finds the Daytona's welcome. Boyet secures this objective for Team Falcons meta. Golden Hour already laid down as well, but it's CS trying to find Coven in the backline. The knock-up from Boyet and heavy spin. That's going to be first blood over to Falcons meta, but the trade from Diablo, he actually finds Sanji too.
They keep on going here. It will be the end of the skirmish, but take a look at what Falcons meta were able to do. Again, controlling the neutral objective with the Akai. That's number one. But IG really just falling out to that tempo, and they don't even get the prio up top. Instead of trying to play out around this winning lane, they let it go, and Sano just got so much value out of it.
I feel like they really wanted to go in first, though. You could see how Jay just wanted to position himself, but now he's yet to get his level 4. Just got it now, and they're not really going to commit to a fight just yet, but...
God.
Oh, yeah! They had no idea this was happening, but Kelvin still actually takes his purple buff. So I think it will be an unsuccessful attempt here for Boyet. Does he get bursted down here? That's going to be the question. It seems like he will be, though. That's 4 members of IG on him all alone.
And that's where you can see a little bit of that experience. Wait a second. Mystic Gush on Roy and a flicker as well.
Oh,
all right.
That's a lot.
Just a Crimson Beacon, but tendencies, habits, Brigida. Falcons meta, if that was in the wild card, he would have already gotten the purple buff. Unfortunately for him, the Akai got his passive completely botched in the new patch, and that's why it was still so slow for him to actually take it away. Kelvin was able to rotate, taking it in time, and we get to see the replay of it again. The retry was also just miles too early. You see a little bit of cringe. Back room is like, oh God, why was it so early? A bit of panic from Boyet, perhaps.
Yeah, this could have been a bigger lead if only they were able to take away that purple buff as well. But now we're back to a very small lead in their hands. Kelvin shows up here. Sano has no idea that even Jay is within or around the area. Troll comes up to them first, and they are going to play it safe. There's an objective upcoming down bot, and they will both make their way to this objective. All spells are actually going to be available apart from these flickers for Cuffin. So I think positioning-wise, it's going to be very crucial at this point now that it's actually Falcons meta taking control of the riverside. Crimson Beacon forced out of Roy. Golden Hour laid down too, but it's CS bursted down and forced to flicker out.
Looks like it's going to be free here unless Diablo was able to get in, but no chance. Boya with the red tree, and now it's Troll.
Diablo has a flicker. Daytona's welcome under the turret, so he is going to be safe. But they lose out on a turtle, and they weren't able to trade anything out of that. So IG, I think this is Falcons meta slowly getting the advantage that they want.
I think it's just the pure control, man. With the Akai, it's just very difficult for IG to come in with the Yisun Shin, and it's also just them protecting their new...
Yeah.
No one saw that. No one saw that. It's okay. Falcons meta protecting their structures up top. Mystic Gush!
Okay, the flicker's only back for Jay just a bit, but it didn't make it. He wasn't able to survive that. Look, his flicker came back just now, and he's already taken out by Falcons meta. So this is space for Sano. They're possibly taking this turret up top. Mystic Injunction landing onto CS, and he's bursted down too.
Okay, IG are just losing the plot here. A few resources spent. Roy's gonna be caught again. It seems like there's only been one time, one style of Crimson Beak in this game, and it's all defensive.
We don't really see them going in, and the few moments they do actually try, it's either there's a huge disconnect or they're just all alone. You saw it from Jay earlier on, Mystic Gush, and speaking of Jay, he had to use the flicker defensively as well. IG, there's just so much disconnect across the map, and Kelvin couldn't even handle Sanji by himself.
No, definitely not. Not against Tro in a 1v1. I thought Tro was gonna pop the golden hour, try to go for that Sokolil. But no, Kelvin's able to keep himself safe under tier 2. We gotta take a look at the emblems, or sorry, not the emblems, the battle spells, and all of it is just down because again, Falcons Mena have just been reacting to IG's plays, but they've been forcing out these battle spells, these resources, and IG, every single skirmish, it almost seems like they use their battle spells before the fight even starts, so it already puts them at a massive disadvantage.
Yeah, they gotta get back in this game. They got to sort this out. This is an elimination match you're talking about, but IG just don't seem to be playing the game that they want. Falcons Mena in control of this objective, and all they're gonna settle for is a wave up top. Not even a guaranteed turret just yet, because even Sanjay is going to deal with it by himself. So we're seeing action down bottom though. Falcons Mena, does IG respond to this?
Nope. I mean, what can they do to respond to it, right? Their clear is horrible. If you look at their composition, it's a double fighter composition. It's a juice it. Oh, they go in!
Okay, Falcons Mena are gonna take another kill. Now it's CS going into the back lines. Crimson Beacon in finally from Roy, but it gets caught in the golden R. There goes Arizona's welcome for Boyet. He's brought under the turret, and he safely gets away. IG, they weren't able to take anything out of that.
Not a single person down despite everything kind of falling to what IG wanted, you know? At the start of the game, this is the team fight that you would expect for IG, that they would want to win. But they just can't, they have no damage. And again, those battle spells all taken out. Sano was able to just free hit in the back. We get to see the replay again, and it starts with Jay taken out of the skirmish way too early. It really just seems like there's just a lot of indecisive moments here where they hesitate, right? Because even for Jay, if you know you're going to die and your team's call is still to fight, you might as well pop into Minions Fury. You died, but you get a few members knocked up.
Yeah, but also the golden R just interrupted so much of what IG wanted to do, I feel. Because even Diablo on the Dona's welcome was kinda caught in the golden R as well, so I feel like they were delayed to a certain extent in terms of how quick they wanted to respond to Falcons Mena and that sudden burst through the Mystic Gush. And I think that's another layer to the problem, right? Falcons Mena have reliable burst if they just really want to focus on one member, and it's always been Jay. Whereas IG, I doubt that they have the damage, as you mentioned, to actually respond to Falcons Mena at this point. So it's always just been slow and staggered team fights for IG where they don't really get to trade anything every single time.
And the slower it gets even worse for IG. Oh, they go up top, Sano.
Oh, now they want to find a target, but the golden R might just save Sano this time. If he didn't actually go down there, I would have felt really bad for IG. Fortunately, they find him though, and now it's just gonna be a 1-for-1 trade. It's a gold for Rome. I think somehow they will be happy with that. Step by step, but a concealed play from Falcons Mena.
You definitely see just a bit of a glimpse of that brilliance of that composition. Roy gets bursted down by Cuffin. Straight up against the Panda. Face checks the bush, doesn't let Barats do it. And now Kelvin's pinned.
Okay, it's Troll and Boy. It's surrounded by Diablo and Kelvin, but Kelvin, does he want to be in the spot? I don't think he should have been there. Trace this out, but you can't run away from Sanji and Cuffin. It's Diablo left here instead, and IG, I feel like they want to do something, right? They've been trying to do something. It's always CS trying to go for these backline plays, but it doesn't work.
Oh man, that was literally the window that opened but instantly closed again. But it was shut by themselves. Falcons Mena now capitalizing on the mistakes of IG, picking up the neutral objective, not giving any space for IG to even trade on the map. Sanji goes straight into the bottom lane. That's a Lord up top, and Falcons Mena, they'll definitely learn from that mistake earlier, right? Where Sano was caught in the bad spot. Now they're gonna play for Sano. all the way in the back. Everybody's just gonna peel for him. Everybody's gonna open Troll with the conceal.
Oh, Troll going in. Forces out the Crimson Peak and then the burst on CS. This is crazy. Was that a Sky Piercer even? I'm not entirely sure anymore.
It was.
So Cuffin at this point is a very terrifying player on the side of Team Falcons Mena. They also still have a Lord Marching and Kelvin.
Oh no.
All he can do is just attempt to go for a cut, but he is being dealt with by Sanji.
I don't know how Sanji became an XP laner from a mid laner, but Sanji's doing it in a 1v1 against Kelvin. Who wins it?
Oh, Mountain Shocker already used. He's pretty low on HP now.
Oh my
He'll
god.
settle with the orange buff, but there's Troll already spawning it out. I think we all know how this is gonna end. The Traceless, he didn't get out of that wall too.
Oh, Kelvin!
But he's still trying to survive. In between turrets though, and with Sano there, I don't think it's possible for him to survive.
It was a valiant attempt. Yes, it wasn't possible, but it's all about delaying, right? It's all about buying time for space on the map. CS gets some space, but unfortunately he's on a Paquito that doesn't really scale too well. And Troll, oh god, he's already got the read on, and CS cancels the recall.
Okay, CS. Oh, that is not your side of the map. He gets caught under the golden art, gets to take down the turret before he does. And Sano's now on a killing spree. This is a Paquito who I feel like is just really having to sacrifice himself every time he wants to go for something. He's 0-4 on a lethal ignition and a damage build too.
And the 12-minute hits the clock. That says, or that means, goodbye to the Holy Shields. Falcons Mena are just gonna look to go for the siege without the Lord. Minus Fury!
Okay, knocks up 4 members, but Cuffin responds with a Mystic Gush. Diablo couldn't catch anyone with that Detona's welcome. At least they defend the base turret, but they had to lose Diablo in the process too and his flicker, so Falcons Mena still win it out there.
Oh god, it gets from bad to worse. Falcons Mena again just sieging it down, but there's literally nothing IG can do. Diablo tried his best. Now Sanji on Uranus. Oh my god, it's Troll getting frozen moments as well. Look at that poke on Roy with just a projectile. It's so difficult if you're IG, because you look at this composition and I have to bring up the point that I made earlier.
Yeah.
No clear. They have horrible clear. If waves are gonna come in with the Lord, who's gonna try to actually get through the minions?
That's why it seems like they have to sacrifice at least one member from their side if they just want to guarantee that Falcons Mena will not have an easy time going for the siege. It's either CS, it's either Kelvin, and I'm not sure who you really want to put out there at this point, because you'd really want all your resources to be there when you go for the defense, because again, it's not enough. Now Falcons Mena with a 5k goal lead just really secured this Lord, and CS isn't even able to push that wave up top as much. You can't really put yourself in a very dangerous position, not at this point where Falcons Mena are just moments away from another Lord Siege.
I mean, you can, right? I mean, you got that PTSD as well, a bit of trauma. Last time he tried to clear up top, it went really bad. He had to die for the 4th time in the game. He doesn't want to, increase those deaths, not to 5. Although, there might be a case to be made that, he needs 7 to get a power spike. Who knows? Maybe the BBB special. And down on the Paquito, maybe on that Minotaur. Diablo!
Troll getting the stun. It's Diablo. They're bursting down right now. Not even with its own as welcome. Will they find anything? IG just lose one of their frontliners, and now they have to deal with a Lord and multiple waves. Roy, Jay, what can they do? There goes the heavy spin from Boyet. The knockout from the Minoan Fury and the Golden R onto Roy once again with the burst! The burst coming from Sano, and he's still alive! CS trying to push them back, but it's not gonna work as Team Falcons Mena secure this game.
Falcons Mena are a game away from stepping forward in towards that next round and also eliminating IG from MSC EWC 2026. Staying true to their identity on the utility jungle, Boyet shows that he can still make it work. Now it's up to IG to go back to the drawing board to see if they can make their identity work, if they can adapt to this style, because right now it's looking bleak.
Boyet had his entire team to rely on to make it work. We had a lot of questions for them. Were the amount of practice that they had, as minimal as it were, enough to actually get them through the group stage, the main stage?
And now against IG, they're showing us that yes, and they're staying the exact same as we've seen them from Wildcard, with just a bit of changes here and there, but overall it's still the Team Falcons meta that you know and are familiar with. Again, maybe, yes, a few of adjustments from IG, but now they should have learned and they should have understood that it doesn't work. It did not work out for them this time. It was too spread out. You couldn't really see them united in terms of what they wanted to accomplish here, if it's team fight or just splitting up.
It's a rainy day with the two dinosaurs, Raptor and Trex on the panel. What you got for us?
Almost like you were saying it's a rainy day. And I think you were saying rain day. However, it was a rainy day if you were on the side against Team Falcons meta, because Ignite Gaming, well, that fire might have just been put out by that first game. I love the way that Falcons meta approached it. You felt that they might have the lead in this one. Yep. They certainly did after game one.
Yeah, again, they just went back to comfort. They forced their opponents to play a metagun, and I feel like that also made Ignite Gaming very uncomfortable in the draft.
Definitely made them uncomfortable, and they may have just cracked a possible code as we move forward into this, right? We were saying it, just ban out the Ling, ban out the Harara. If you really want to be crazy, ban out the Fanny, and now there's no assassins to worry about.
Yeah, you force teams to go back into assassins that may not be the absolute best. You still have the Nolan to deal with, but then picks like the Akai can deal with it. Then you redefine the main trades that have affected the first phase of our drafting phase. I hope there are teams right now still, like maybe the upper bracket, still like comfortable here looking at what Falcons meta has done with this Ling Hirara ban and realize, oh, wait, that's a way to approach the game. What do we do to prepare for that?
I think the question too is it such a good ban that if you were to put somebody at a high, well, let's not even say that. Let's just say one of our top organizations who have already made it into the knockout stage, if they were to play against that, do you think it would have the same impact? Or is this something that, you know, we're seeing Falcons meta abusing this certain matchup right now against Ignite Gaming?
Yeah, I think they're definitely, it's not just a cheese pick, it's a cheese draft approach that they use coming into this matchup. Right. The fact that they banned out the Ling, the Hirara, the Valentina, which forced out the Atlas ban, but I feel like if that's one thing that Ignite Gaming could have changed up, now that you know the type of opponents you're gonna go, you're going up against with, you take out the Eudora ban, you keep your Freya ban, you change the Atlas ban to a Marcel ban. Again, that's considering they stick the same sides here, and I feel like if Ignite want to keep things a little bit more familiar, stick on the same side. You already know what Falcons meta are trying to do.
Yeah, Melissa also being banned as well has been a kind of final answer for some teams that are going up against lineups that feel melee heavy, but also I think just Trex, is it maybe being on the back foot early and now you're kind of, I don't know, in water treading, trying to just survive?
I think another big issue with Ignite there was, you know, what Falcon did in the ban phase was okay. You can deal with that, but it felt like Ignite picked a composition that they wanted to play against an assassin, that maybe they wanted to play against something like that, but instead they picked it against a Kai that is going to push this Paquito back, that is going to push this YSS back, that is going to push this Baratz back. They played it against a Marcel that is going to freeze every hero that I just said once again. Like all of these picks that IG have want to get up close and personal with you, and Falcons meta draft loves that. You have something that's going to literally run up and freeze you all with the Marcel. You have something that if you're not going to get frozen, you're all going to get pushed away by a heavy spin. And then you have a Clint that's going to capitalize on all of that chaos that's just going to stand there and take advantage of it all. So IG, I said it at the end of the draft, these picks weren't going to play that great against it. Maybe it could work, but they were definitely at a disadvantage the moment that game started.
Yeah, it was really tough there for Ignite. Despite the few slip-ups here and there for Falcons meta, at the end of the day, their lineup is just so much more solid in the big picture of it all that it would be rare for Ignite Gaming to get wins wherein they would be victorious, that they would be the ones able to build through a team fight win, leading into map control. Nah, it was just all pretty much Falcons meta's game to lose. And again, it was just a masterstroke what they did. Ignite, they weren't ready for it.
Well, this series has got the potential to go 3. Most of our series have ended 2-0, however. And one of the things is that we've seen early on this meta shifting, people throwing those early punches. We even had it to start the day. Everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. This is a plan clearly gone awry for Ignite Gaming, but maybe it's also a little bit of a haymaker from Team Falcons meta earlier on. To count this team out is to do something that you should not do, because having to go through that wild card, I don't think anybody would have said, oh, I'd rather do that, because there's so many things that can go wrong with those 10 teams trying to qualify for that final spot here. Falcons meta made it through. And so that's got to say something for what they can do, even though they're not in the best position in this tournament right now, where they got to keep playing elimination games.
Yeah, I think we can base it off of how Troll was reacting in his interview earlier. He was so nonchalant with everything. And Turner was trying to get some emotion out of him, like, oh, are you guys nervous? Like, were you expecting this and all that? He was like, no problem.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I wish I could have that level of mental strength that Troll has, where it's just like, it's all right, no problem.
You might have to be named Troll at that point. His name is kind of a shield right there.
Then.
Oh, yeah,
we need crazy Renmar. What do you think, Renmar?
Was that crazy Renmar right there? Was that what I just saw a glimpse of?
In this world, we just call it Renmar.
Just Renmar, okay.
No need to add the crazy. That's just me.
That's a tame. That's a bit of a tame crazy, man. I don't know. Maybe you're not as crazy as you think. Maybe...
Rain Day.
Wait till TL or Falcons if they make it to the grand finals. You'll see drum in his hand. And
Listen, I've seen Brigitte go a little crazy on the stage as well. I'm not going to say what was going on, but there was some hype moments when some of those upsets were happening yesterday. Guys, I mean, this is a series of upsets, and this is now a series where we could see a continuation of teams proving themselves against the odds. That would be, however, Ignite Gaming's turn to fight back. They just took a big one against Team Falcons meta. A surprising draft, maybe. Maybe it set them up. Those haymakers, are they able to withstand it and bounce back up on their feet and have a go again? You would hope that Diablo and his experience would be able to do it. You mentioned Roy having a big impact. What's the answer now going into the draft for Game 2?
Well, they have the choice, right, of what side that they're going to go. I think I'm going to double down on just stay red, because you know what's coming to you from the blue side of Falcons.
I mean, yes, if you want to play against that same exact strategy again. But if they pick blue, it forces Falcons meta to maybe change up a little bit. I mean, they could still ban the Ling and the Harara, but that third ban is all going to depend on what Ignite wants to give them. What do you want to trade here? Because I do feel like the red side, that's what we've been seeing a lot, at least. Depending on what blue side picks or bans out for those first three, the red side then, as that final ban, normally has a couple options of, do I leave 3 things open? Do I leave 2 things open? Do we go for the full trade? You know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, the idea is, are you setting yourself up to be able to get more of what's left over or less? Or is it strong enough to get just one thing that ends up twisting the other team's intention and now have to deal with what you've grabbed? Yeah. We've seen that be, again, we've seen strong first picks throughout the day. You guys watching at home, you've seen sometimes when the Fanny has had the impact, when the Atlas has had the impact. We've seen Melissa have the last pick impact sometimes as well. Baratz has been making it through the draft a lot more also. Uranus has been a pretty solid pick that teams are now allowing through more often, and he's coming in that 3rd, 4th slot for a lot of these teams to round things out. I mean, what is left? What is left right now to maybe throw a spanner in the works? Is it joining in on that assassin ban early so that they're either forced to ban something else or another assassin? What do you think?
I think partly Ignite Gaming also leaned in a little bit too hard in their idea. Like, you were also pointing it out, the fact that once they saw the Marcel, it's like they went into the game knowing that, okay, we want to play this specific kind of comp, and just never let go from it.
Felt like they already had a draft plan before that game started.
Yeah.
And that's just what they were going to pick no matter what Falcon picked.
Yeah, like a little bit too stubborn with it.
Well, the Fanny, the Atlas, and you could see that started to get into the hero pool with the Ling and the Harara ban. That changed things up in Game 1. That opened up a Marcel, which we have not seen very often. It's either maybe once or now twice in this tournament so far. Will Falcons meta be on the front foot again? Will we see Ignite Gaming pull something off here?
In total, including the numbers from the wildcards, Marcel has only popped up 7 times, which is crazy considering.
All the way to wildcards?
Yeah. This includes our numbers from the wildcards too. So now, I don't know if that made it the 8th time he was picked with the previous game, but still less than 10. I think that's something that the two coaching staffs can definitely latch onto.
Yeah, it's definitely not something you want to push through. I'm ready to see the big question of if Ignite took blue side here. It is going to be dangerous grass as the map, something that some of that assassins will thrive on, something that a Harara will do great on.
Let's see. I wonder if they do go to get that side switch, like Ignite Gaming follows your suggestion and just goes blue. If Falcons Rena still does the same thing red side and just go Ling Harara ban, it's
Listen,
like, ooh.
If I'm Ignite on blue side and I ban something and then I see the Ling ban, I'm banning a Kai, second ban. Fine, let's do this.
Dude, look at that. They banned it on
Kai,
first.
Ling comes in. Let's do this. You want to ban assassins? We're going to ban utilities.
All right, I like it. Okay, they're getting scrappy just at the draft already. It's like, okay, we saw what you could do. We're going to just take it away from you. No more like dancing around it. We'll be honest with it.
Target bans from both sides. This time the Freya will also make the ban list. But I like how Falcons doesn't ban the Harara second. They're still letting the Ignite guess. Like, will we leave it open? Will we ban it? Maybe we can bait you into banning it. Theodora does get banned, so now Falcons Mena has to decide. The thing is with the Akaigon, sorry if I keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now Fanny is a bit more viable.
Yes.
Which means Falcons Mena may have hit a little hiccup here, right? Because I think they left the Fanny open knowing we can pick a Kai, we can deal with it if we need to.
Yeah.
Great point.
I wonder if they will still let it through. If they let it through, then I wouldn't think that Ignite Gaming would want to rush it. You wouldn't expect Boyet and Falcons Mena to want to pick up that Fanny, so you can save that option for a little bit later. Them banning out the Eudora means they left the Atlas and Bellerin trade open, though, yeah? With the Atlas getting prioritized for Ignite, they can protect their jungler a little bit more because this time it's going to be the Atlas that's going to be hovering around the river and annoying Falcons Mena, which is why it's perplexing to me that they still went ahead and banned the Bellerin, because if ever Ignite Gaming gets the Atlas, they will be getting the Valentina anyways.
And the thing is now they're throwing Ignite a little signal of like, fine, you can have the Atlas, but then we take your assassin pick, we take your Harara. But then still Fanny is also still open. They're going to go for the Harara instead. And say, fine, you can have the Atlas.
Yeah, let's see if they're going to be okay with this. It is the Atlas, and I think just straight up be safe with it. Just pick up the Valentina for Asano. It's a pick that he's really good at. Excuse me, not Tano. Oh, yes. I know, cuff in. There we go, cuff in.
Let him cuff the Valentina real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, would obviously take away what a lot of people are doing against the Atlas, which is Valentina's ability to steal abilities, normally taking the ultimate of Atlas and trying to use it in to counter engage or to initiate, depending on how spicy you're feeling. So that's an answer. I feel like the Valentina, as you guys said, gets picked up, and now it puts Falcons Mena into a pretty good spot. It is definitely Ignite Gaming's turn on the clock. Time ticking down, saying, okay, what's your move?
A little bit crazy here as a suggestion, but maybe Ignite might be okay with picking up either the Uranus or the Esmeralda. I know it goes against my desires for Diablo, but with the Herrera there, you're gonna need the difficult to kill EXP laner. Then if you want to go to the second phase, maybe try to force out a gold lane pick already, but we've been seeing gold lanes come out a little bit earlier. With the Marcella, Atlas, Belerica, we're at that weird spot again where they might run out of roam options here for Jay. Oh, they're picking up the Melissa early.
I think it's a solid pick. You'd also steal away the Melissa something. You get the Jushin for some range.
Wow.
And then if Falcons Mena wanted that Melissa, something to kind of protect themselves against this Harara, you have a slight answer to it. Or if Falcons Mena ends up going for the Fanny here, you also already have something that can be safe from it.
Yeah. I wonder if this means that Ignite are gonna dig back into the bag of like the Badang such for the roam, but you're risking getting the Valentina to steal your ultimate, but that will provide the space, and the rest of Falcons Mena do want to clump up together really well. Unless Falcons Mena just decides to band out the Badang. Picking up the Clint this early though, I don't know how to feel about this. I feel like they could have leveraged just leaving gold laners and picking it up later while changing up the priorities and trades for like EXP.
I think it might have been a panic pick, honestly. I don't know what to pick next, possibly.
Could it also have been not trying to show the EXP hand too early? Trying to have some
could be
surprise to it?
Could be. And they know that they're gonna get the first pick on the red side anyway, so based on the bans, they have a better understanding of, if they can go for a specific pick that they want in the jungle, or if they can go ahead and pick up their XP at Red 4 and still wait till the absolute end to pick up their jungler. I'm still leaning towards the idea that Boyet and Falcons Mena would want to play the tanky sustain types, or at least not exactly like the hard assassins. But we've seen Melissa being such a problem that now my question for Falcons Mena is, do you actually have something for this Melissa?
EXP bans all around right now. Yuzong, Uranus. I'm wondering if they're going to keep on honing into it. Paquito is still open for both teams. Could be a decent option for Ignite, honestly. Just something that can pack a punch, close the distance on the Valentina and the Clint.
And I think that's maybe personally what the Melissa helps ward against early on. So if you want to pick up the Paquito, get up close, we have an answer for that.
A high loss ban?
And a Harley ban.
I wouldn't think that they would have found the high loss problematic. They already have the Atlas and the Clint with them, and then not a lot of...
Could just be a ban to open things up, keep things open, don't want to take something away. Again, they're going to be counter-picking to try to figure out these two lanes. Everyone's exposed their gold, their jungle, and their mid.
Oh yeah, that's true. We were talking earlier about how the roam options might look thin, so they just took one out. But they can also just gotcha later for Ignite. If ever they really can't think of a pick, just like gotcha.
Yeah. I'm not sure how much we've seen a win from Gotcha. Definitely been played yesterday a bit. I think we're at 55 unique heroes so far. We've added a few to the pool.
Yeah.
Still aiming for that 90 for MSC. We'll see if we can get there. Let us know in the chat if you think it's happening. So far, so good. Before we get to knockout stages, we've still got another group to go through this process with Group B tomorrow. As Barats gets picked up.
Oh yeah,
gotcha.
There you go, Renmar. Good call.
He's just settled on it. It really feels like, might as well. Oh, and they pick up the Alice despite there being a Valentina on the other side, and that makes it even deadlier for Ignite's cause. Now, actually, because of the Alice pickup, Falcons Mena has multiple options to answer this Melissa. Will it be enough is the question, though, because you still need the damage, but diving it, reaching the Melissa wouldn't be a problem anymore.
What is going to be jungle, though, for Mena here?
I'm thinking, can't you just maybe go something like the Hayabusa?
I mean, even the Fanny isn't going to be able to target down on the Melissa very well.
Yeah, we saw it struggle earlier.
Get taunted by the...
Oh,
wait a second. So Barats jungle.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah. So kind of like a jungle Barats, they send the Paquito to the EXP lane. All right, let's see how this is going to work.
Atlas roam.
I still have a lot of questions for it, but let's see.
Wow.
What is the final switch around?
This will be interesting here.
Yeah, it is looking like, jungle Barats, EXP Paquito.
Well,
thoughts,
it doesn't cease to surprise us here, guys. We've got a second game coming up here in our final series of the day. If they take 2 in a row, Team Falcons Mena is going to close this one out and move on. They'll face their Falcons teammates, or not teammates, but I guess organizational mates in a win. And if they lose, well, we'll send it to a Game 3. Let's get Game 2 started here and send it back over to your casters.
Thank you, mates, on the panel, man. I love them, this panel. T-Rex, Raptor, Rainy Man. I'm joking. Welcome to the Land of Dawn, folks. It could be the end of the road for one of these teams, and right now it's looking like it's going to be IG because they're down a game. But how are you doing, Brigada?
Hey, I'm doing okay. We've had a really interesting day today. Some very intense games at that, and some very one-sided games. And so far, the series has been one-sided for IG, as you've mentioned, who are on the brink of elimination. So we're really hoping for them to at least figure things out heading into this game. But I feel like even the panel,
T-Rex,
Raptor, and Rainy Day. As mentioned, you're right, Marco, we're just kidding. But I feel like even the panel couldn't really fully grasp the idea behind what IG wanted to do. I think so much focus also was put on the Alice option here, the Alice pick as well, and the fact that Falcons Mena yet again are still sticking with their identity and just shifting it around with putting a Barats in the jungle is
another statement for them if ever they do get to secure the 2-0 against IG.
I mean, they did make this work at the wild card, right? The Barats in the jungle with the Mathilda, though, so it was already very different. And the Barats in the jungle was a good answer into a lot of the other utility jungles, like the Akai as well, and the Baxia. This time around, you're up against a Hirara, right? Someone that can already farm faster than you and can actually capitalize on the winning lanes. I think that's where we have to, kind of point our fingers and set our sights towards. The lane in gold. I like it for the Melissa up against this Clint. And even in XP, I like it for the Alice for the matchup against the Paquito. So these are two lanes where Ignite Gaming are going to be able to utilize this Hirara to finally push in and capitalize on the mistakes or the lane dominance of the other mates on the team. Falcons Mena, though, it's all about neutral objective control. So I think it's kind of like a better IG from game 1, but Falcons Mena, the same exact Falcons Mena from game 1.
Granted that the laning does go that way, because we're expecting it to favor IG, at least in terms of the sides. We're looking at again the Melissa, who at least based on today's showing has been a phenomenal gold lane pickup, but it was more into the Fanny and the likes of the more dive type comps, which I don't think Falcons Men are that far away from, but they're more fighter than assassin type of compositions too. So you could expect them to stay much longer in the team fights if things go their way. But right now, IG, let's see how it goes and let's see how they manage this lane.
Quick emblem check as we get into game number 2 in the Land of Dawn. Wilderness Blessing for Troll. In a world where we see a lot of pull yourself together just to try to get more flickers out there, Troll decides, no, I want to get the movement. And it's the same for Cuffin. So they're expecting to win here in the mid lane, trying to rotate around. Perfect match on Roy.
Yep, that's a very aggressive start, and I think it will be a lot of help to Boyet, who, again, we are so used to seeing with a Mathilda, but now it's going to be on his own. But the fact that you have a mid duo who is just so reliable in terms of mobility and just fast moving around the map, I feel would make things a bit more easier for him this time around. So at least we're seeing a not so action-packed start just yet for IG. They're still able to accomplish what they want in terms of the lanes. But how are they able to allow Kelvin be involved? I don't think we saw Kelvin as involved earlier on, but that's because he was on Isun Shin. This time should be pretty different because he's already on Hirara.
The thing is, though, they are playing, again, as you mentioned, very, very slow. This isn't really what the composition is meant to do, right? With the Hirara as well, they kind of need to go a little bit faster. Boyet's got level 4.
Yeah.
Not as far as Kelvin. Kelvin might actually get level 5 here. But no, he's going to give the XP crab over to Diablo. Going to try to get that secure onto the neutral objective. Roy's going to get level 4 as well, but Cuffin and Boyet gets tempo. There you go. Diablo first to 4. Troll.
Okay, they're not going to go for Troll just yet. They get to spot out where Kelvin was actually trying to hide. Diablo now all alone. Up against 3 Gleams. Not Gleams out. And is now 1 HP away from going down. Kuffin actually steals away the Throne of Ruin, but they are still gonna go and re-engage. Their Vitalize is already committed, and there you go! Throne of Ruin onto 2 coming in from Diablo, but it's still Boyet! Winning out onto Retribution, picking up first blood onto Kelvin, and now Jay falls next!
They go for the neutral objective fight against the utility jungle. They had tempo, but they didn't utilize it. Falcons Mena are soaring in the skies. Turtle number 1, a complete win for the Falcons, and a big double for Boyet on the Barats, bro.
And what happens now? Because we were really looking forward to see IG at least win it out on the sides, but this is going to heavily impact what happens from this point onwards in terms of their early game, because you see the setup, you see the attention coming in from IG, and it looked great. It looked great for Diablo, but the fact that it was just such a great response as well from Team Falcons Mena, and they were too tanky as well. There wasn't enough burst. Kelvin having to fall down too just did not look great for IG.
IG are just so awkward in that skirmish earlier. You know, they got the prio up top. They got the tempo as well. Diablo got XP crap, and now it's going to be Sanji with a jump on Kelvin. No one there to help him out, though.
Don't tell me it's going to be a solo kill. It's actually going to be a solo kill. And a flicker just to get out of that dangerous position. Sanji on a 2-0 to Paquito, clearly winning it out against Diablo in the lane right now.
Sokolil, and it's Sanji on the Paquito against the Hirara in her own jungle. We were talking about that earlier, the Paquito should... Oh God, he wants to do it again. This time Diablo's going to be there to shoo him away, but this could still be good for Falcons Menace. Boyet's going to walk up.
Okay, he doesn't steal away that jungle creep though, at least for them, but now when is Kelvin just going to be able to play? The Sun Shin game didn't work out for him. Now on a Hirara is 0-2, and that just slows things down even further. We wanted them to pick up the pace. We wanted them to be as more aggressive, but Falcons Mena now on a utility jungler, now with a hyperactive XP lane. There's just not much you can do.
And now it's just Falcons Mena doing exactly what they did in game number 1. After getting the initial lead, they just play it slow. Diablo just used Throne of Ruin to survive against Sanji. And it's still Sanji who wins it out in that skirmish. So down below, they're going to go for the turret.
They're losing this tier 1. Now the Fatal Links onto a single member, and that's going to be Jay.
Oh.
They don't care if they just find one. They already have what it takes to burst down even one of the tankiest members of IG. And now both sides seem to be in favor of Falcons Mena already.
Oh my God, Roy!
Oh no, Roy, Crimson Beacon out. No Fatal Links for Troll. He is still gonna try and defend this, but is it gonna be worth it? There is gonna be the muddles from CS, but the damage is just not enough threat for Falcons Mena to get away.
What do you do at this point? Boyet's gonna try to steal this away, but the Hirara is nowhere near. It's a retreat from Boyet. And Kelvin's gonna be very careful. Troll's already on the perfect match. Boyet's gonna figure it out. Uh-oh, Kelvin!
Oh, this is a running Atlas.
Whoa.
He's moving so fast. Kelvin, can he get out of this? There are still flickers in their hands. Kufin, Sanji, the wraparound. Oh no, Kelvin dashing out with the flicker. Iframes were close to saving him there, but Sanji says no.
Nope, a flicker to take him out. Sano picking up the 3rd tier 1 in this game. He's had a hand in all the turret takes so far. It's all about sieging with Sheriff Sano. Troll again just opening up for Sano to have such an easy way through these turrets. And again, it's Cuffin on the Valentina this time around, providing that peel as well. It's just so difficult now for IG. They have a combo, that AoE with the Throne of Ruin and the AOG. But there's just no damage. Sanji in the bottom lane, picking up his own turret as well. They're just taking turrets left and right. Orange buff stolen as well.
Yeah, honestly, this AoE looks very promising for IG on paper. You mentioned the Throne of Ruin, you mentioned the AoG, but you could also pair it up with muddles from CS, honestly. But again, you don't see them synced up. You don't see them really coordinating the team fights. You also saw Diablo earlier on just using the Throne of Ruin all by himself. It's more on a one-on-one scenario rather than the Alice being a part of the fights, but they probably can't even afford to take on any fights at this point. They still have to catch up. It's a 6k gold lead. They're about to lose on more, but they're still gonna set it up nonetheless. Throne of Ruin coming in from Diablo, and now IG are gonna fight and clap back. Roy going in the Crimson Beacon. Boyet left all alone, and this isolated pickup might be the start. But then, Sanji, the damage does he have?
No way.
Was it enough? He did not expect this amount of pressure from IG2. That's 4 members he tried to take on all by himself.
They got a shutdown and a kill on Boyet as well. And finally, the combo lands. Throne of Ruin into the AOG, into Kelvin with the AoE as well. And everything, when it lands perfectly, works out. The thing is, there's still a big problem. Falcons Mena, with all the lead that they've been able to get, it wasn't through kills. Yes, Sanji got shut down, but nobody else on this lineup has a bounty on them, right? So you look at the gold lead, it went from 7k to 5k. Usually it would be a massive turnaround, but this time it was different. It started off with that crazy Throne of Ruin with the AOG combo, but again, Falcons Mena were just that ahead. That's why Sanji and Boyet were able to buy enough time for the rest of the team to escape. Now Falcons Mena, they're definitely going to learn from that mistake, and they're definitely just going to play around the neutral objectives and get this. They won't stick together as much.
Yeah, I even feel like that engage from Sanji would have been a huge punish if only the lead was a bit smaller. But since Falcons Mena are this much ahead, I don't think it really hurt them that much. They still have the control. They are still the ones dictating the pace of the game. But now you have to acknowledge the fact that IG can still go for those plays.
Corrosion, Scythe, and DHS. It was CS who got them the shutdown on Sanji earlier. So it really comes down to CS getting those item power spikes. We saw just how good Iman could be on the Melissa. This could be an Iman-ish game for CS. but the whole team's gonna have to play around him. And Kelvin right now, not in a good position, especially after missing those 2 dashes across the wall.
I mean, honestly,
Hey, Sanji.
Oh.
Hey, he went back.
Okay, Kelvin's gonna spot him here. Crimson Beacon in, and now he is just gonna be bursted down, knocked up as well with the Lantern Flare, and he will just have to accept that. But I think Falcon's Mena will make it worthwhile. They will have the Lord in their hands, and immediately after that, they find Diablo to bring him under the turret. Throne of Ruin just cast it alongside the flicker, but the AOG from Jay! Counter AOG from Cuffin with the IMU! And there is a Daytona's welcome possibly coming through. They're gonna catch Jay, they're gonna put him back, and now they will find more. It's Sano picking up kills after kills, but Cuffin dashing in! 2-man Terrify, and Falcon's Mena finally disengage.
It was a valiant attempt from IG. Again, though, they just get overconfident, I guess, with the lead that they got, man. They were able to get an initial pick down below. With Sanji down, they thought the 4v5 could work, but then Diablo just took too much of a beating. And he had to use a Throne of Ruin, miscoordinated by Jay. He thought it was gonna go in. The AOG went wide, and then Cuffin responded with an AOG by himself. Literally, Cuffin the IG boys.
Okay, it's a concealed play. Already committed here by Team Falcon's Meta, but Diablo is still gonna go in, doesn't catch anyone!
Oh no.
But the AOG does catch 2. Sano though, with a free hit, is gonna land a couple bullets onto Jay. And they now find one. It's a trade, a 1-for-1 so far, but IG get to defend their base turret.
They still got waves though. That was only the first wave with the Lord. Now Roy's gonna have to defend. Sano, Sheriff Man, he's taking a lot of damage also.
Oh, that's a flicker forced out. Falcon's men are not gonna force this anymore. The fact that Diablo's still there too, and CS is just very active with the defense. It's probably not the best, but it's better. I feel like IG right now have better ways to rely on when they have, or they are forced to play defensive, when they're forced to just clear the waves.
Would love to take a look at the items right now, man. Damage dealt, it's Cuffin and Sanji who are leading the pack, not even Sano. And no wonder. Sanji's just going full damage to Hunter-Strike. Sea Halberd into the War Axe. All right, for the Valentina, Cuffin, it's just a glowing one on Bloodwings. You wouldn't expect that guy to be doing the most damage, but now makes a lot of sense. If we got the Lightning Truncheon earlier, then my lord, these guys on IG would just be completely bursted down to the ground, man.
Yeah.
Also, Sano, 20 stacks in the Sky Piercer, I believe. Yep. On the way to a BOD, a Blade of Despair. This is just rough. When a 2,000 gold lead forms around your XP, you know it's kind of chopped.
And you saw how the damage from Sano is really starting to pierce through. IG, Diablo, I think, is always the one who has to put himself up front, but even Diablo is just struggling to stand for any longer than maybe 2 or 3 shots from Sano at this point, considering the amount of damage that he's already accumulated, on top of the fact that his Sky Piercer already does have 20 stacks. So Falcon's meta, they barely have to change anything and adjust anything. It's just them having to take this step by step, because IG at this point, there's just too much that they have to get back from.
CS is up top. This is very good for Falcon's Mena. Melissa isn't really known to be mobile. And guess what? They didn't even deal with the slow push here, so he's gonna have to stay up there for a bit longer. Visible again, but the Lord gets reset by Falcon's Mena. They want to play the long game here, so it's back to resetting the Lord, pushing up top with Sanji. IG somehow gonna look for a pick-off here, and I think the right way is grouping up for the neutral objective or going for the pick-off onto Sanji. They're trying to do that right now. I mean, CS got it, but Sanji just walks away.
Oh, what? The go away committed too?
Guys?
I don't think there was a need for that to happen. Kelvin trying to help as well, and they might just successfully find the pick-up onto Sanji, because he did kind of get an off-angle punch right there. But that's in exchange of the Lord. So IG, they willingly walked into that.
Yes, they did. To be fair, I really feel like at that point it was already very honest from IG. It looked like, okay, we're not gonna throw the ruin.
Oh, this is honest too. Diablo going in, but the response with the tone is welcome, and now he's just back. And another AOG from Cuffin. The IMU working wonders together with the Fatal Links. It's a double kill now for Sano, and Boyan just finds one more. Kelvin, what can you do? Roy is just too low, and it's just IG scrambling to get back to their base.
Brother, The AOG was used on Sanji up top. That was literally, it just happened. But they went in for the Throne of Ruin with no AOG under tier 1 and tier 2. Oh my god.
Oh my god. We are starting to run out of words in this game. 15 minutes almost in, and it's just Falcons meta still with this really big lead. Kelvin nearly getting caught there. Oh, Crimson Beacon from Roy. Now they're on to Sano. They'll find and shut down the gold laner of Falcons meta.
Falcons meta capitalize on a mistake. IG says we can do it as well. Yet again, staying afloat with a pickoff on Sano. A shutdown as well. A way to cut down on those Sky Piercer stacks. Again, we see the set. But it's like, bro, the AOG was literally just used earlier. And it's like, dang, it's under tier 2 and tier 1 with it not even being there, and it just baits everybody in. By everybody, I mean it baits its own team in. Yeah. Valid reaction. Valid reaction.
Okay. That was a slow-mo. That was a slow-mo.
Oh, God.
And a clear punish from Falcons meta, earning them an additional base turret and more map control. But IG, at least you, well, saw that just now. They found the kill on Sano, and they found a tier 1 in mid. That's the second turret they've been able to take down in this game. 15 minutes in. So maybe there are still some signs of hope, because you actually see them moving out of their map a bit more now.
Dude, I'm just so impressed right now. Such an interesting game so far. Take a look at the equipment real quick. Wind of Nature can be built up by CS. Wind of Nature already for Sano. It's a Winter Crown for Boyet. All right, so he's going to have a lot more to say here as he dives in forward. Not too much at risk when he dives in, as CS won't really be able to get those hits in. But the thing is, for me, Diablo hasn't gone Winter Crown.
Yeah.
Being the main guy to initiate and literally the first one in, I really thought the Winter Crown would be built on Diablo by now.
Yeah, and it's you see it on Boyet, and now Sano. Oh, is he changing his item? I think he is. He initially had a Wind of Nature, and now he went for Winter Crown. Instead, Jay finds the taunt onto Cuffin, forces out the Crimson Beacon, which he stole. But Sanji's gonna come in from the side, and there goes Diablo! There goes the Winter Crown as well, coming in from Boyet, but the damage from IG seems to be enough. Now it's gonna be the Hirara, finding kills here and there. But Sanji has waves! He has 2 minions alongside him in mid, and Falcons men are not letting IG get back to base, but Kelvin fortunately find his way back, and IG find more as they take down Troll.
1v1 up top, it's 1v1 right now. Sanji tries to go for the kill on Kelvin. Lord in the bottom lane already there, Boyet. Let's see if he can steal this one with Kelvin up top, and a 1v1 against Sanji walks up. Immortality for Kelvin.
Okay. Boyet is here to try and contest. The Dakona's welcome not being charged just yet, and he finally does use it on one. That's going to be the Winter Crown as well, but the Throne of Good from Diablo! Boyet is taken down, and Sanji from the backline gets caught in the AOG! A counter from Kumpin, but now he's all alone. He fights the kill on Diablo, but CS takes him down too!
But wait, Sano's here! Hero play from Sano, can he steal the Lord? No, he can't. All right. Waves dealt with by Roy. IG pull up a crazy teamfight win in a brutally chaotic brawl. Oh my goodness, they put the Ignite on Falcons mana. Falcons couldn't react, man. The heat was brought in, and it started with IG doing... Okay, it started with Falcons mana, ulting everywhere. That's where it started, actually. There you go. Cuffin gets caught by Jay. There you go. I'm starting to remember now.
Okay.
But in this skirmish, man, it was just Boyet just trying desperately to get back into that pit. But unfortunately, couldn't get in. Sanji tried to go in. He forgot about the go away. So Melissa's ult, right? Bring it up. It's a sphere. You can't get in. Yeah. In case you don't know. You know?
So, I don't know anymore, because it's a 2.9k or 3k gold lead now in the hands of IG. It initially wasn't like this. It was Falcons mana leading massively, but now they're pushed to a corner. It's IG trying to charge in the base, and CS, you could already start to feel the damage. Boyet is already being shredded down to pieces. Sanji picks up an Immortality, gets bursted down! Immortality, he just bought it, now it's popped, and he has to fall!
Falcons Mena, one man down. Still some waves available for IG. Trying to keep their tournament lives still in. Fatal legs from Troll.
Fatal's onto 2, popping immortality for Jay. Jay gets still caught and trapped under the turret, and Sano finds another stack. But they're gonna lose another base turret too.
Oh, yes.
Kelvin jumping in. Turn of Ruin from Diablo and the Crimson Beacon in from Roy. They're fighting it under the base, but IG somewhat have damage, but they are not able to catch Sano. Sano is still able to deal damage. Kelvin dashing in. And they still have waves incoming.
Uh-oh. Wave down below as well. They're going to go all in. It's Kelvin in the back row. It's going medium for Sano.
Sano still survives. Sano finds the kill on Kelvin. But can he deal with the waves? He cannot. IG are bringing us to a game number 3.
Ignite Gaming refuses to be eliminated in game number 2. It's a fight we're seeing on stage here for our final series of the day. What a fantastic comeback that was. Raw, micro, and macro.
Punish after punish.
Bridaga, I've never seen anything better than that.
I don't know anymore. I feel like I'm gonna jumble your name too anytime soon.
It's Marco.
Marco. How did it end up like this? It was maybe 15 minutes of Falcons Mena in control, and then the last 4 minutes were just suddenly over to IG.
Oh my god, though. Diablo with the sets on the Throne of Ruins, you know. He was so good at getting Throne of Ruins, he even went on it while the AOG was down once, right? So, hey, you're on the right path. That got you the win. Diablo finding the angle to get in there. And man, Kelvin always catching Sanji, really pulling out that revenge story. 0-3-0. It was Sanji with a 3-0, and everything turned around as Sanji constantly pushed in top, not respecting IG's flank potential.
Yeah.
I know it's a Gatakacha and Melissa. I know you shouldn't be caught, this is the moment by the way, by that combo. But the fact that you did is like now, is it more of a good flank or is it more on like Sanji not respecting him, right?
I don't know, maybe something just clicked from IG, you know, mid-game. They suddenly sync up, and I'd say we saw it happen a couple times. There were engages which were immediately followed up by Roy specifically. I'm shout out Roy because it was a flawless Crimson Beacon 2 into whatever setup was eventually later on, but I think the panel has a lot more to say about this, you know?
Hey, I don't want to say anything else about this game. Throw it to the panel. It's been Tulay and Marco.
Who would have thought? Just the correction really put them on the name game there. I like it. We're playing their own little moment. I mean, that was a fun game to watch, and I think when we look back at it, we'll say that there were 3 moments that it could have gone differently and maybe even earlier for Ignite. But they needed to learn their lesson. And finally, at that Lord fight, Renmar, they found a way to deal with Sanji enough to delay and actually prioritize taking the Lord, and that ultimately snowballed into winning that game.
Yeah, and they found Sano. It was Diablo. It was the guy that we were looking for to step up.
Yeah.
Well, not really step up, but finally make his presence felt. Got the wish of getting Diablo on something that's big impact, and he delivered the biggest impact for Ignite Gaming.
Yeah, I think Diablo, along with the big AOG finally being able to connect. You know, there was just a lot of miscommunications throughout that game. And once Ignite was finally able to actually combo up and play as a team, not just man for man, you know, sometimes you got to switch up the formation. And they were able to do that and actually succeed in getting a win, forcing this to game 3.
Yeah, it was great. And this is what you want to see in a final series of the day where one team goes home. Now it's all a best of 1. Renmar, I mean, I know you have some stuff for us, but looking at these stats as well before we jump into the telestrator, you asked for Diablo to show up, 120,000 damage taken, 37,000 damage dealt. He was involved in both sides and made a big difference.
Yeah, I think the biggest numbers I want to look at here is the difference in damage dealt between the 2 gold laners, 13,000 more for CS and the Melissa, which is why we had that feeling for the Falcons Mena draft where with how they closed it out, yes, we saw how well it went for them in the early game, but then that worry of, okay, what happens if the Melissa is free and the Melissa can damage? Is the Valentina and the Clint gonna be enough? The answer was no.
I mean, all that really matters is the last fight, right? And as long as you can hang on long enough, it takes that one big team wipeout. And they had nothing. They had almost no inhibitors left. They were down to the wire and were able to just kind of hang on. And whether that is them making the right move or Falcon Mena making some of the wrong moves, either way it happened in the end. And though the way they got there might have been a little sloppy at times, Falcons Mena also has some things they need to look at coming into this last game.
That was a
heck of a slow-mo.
Yeah, to see from
heck
Boy
of a slow-mo.
Go tongue out, going crazy, and then immediately cutting to his teammates at the moment of defeat. That hurts.
These are actually scrims shots. Those weren't even in this game right there. He's just doing that randomly. No, I'm kidding. That was actually recently. It was a real reaction. It was live. And what do you expect? You're playing for $100,000. I mean, the hype is real, and getting a chance to move in gives you that 65K in this situation instead of the 45 from going out earlier. So still a lot of money coming up on the line for both of these teams who are fighting for their last chance at it. Renmar, I want to give you the opportunity to break down what you saw there. There were a lot of failed fights, a lot of successful fights, but like Trek said, you only need one fight.
Yeah, I'm ready to break down. All right, could you hold this for me? All right.
Both mics?
Yeah, I'm good. All right, we double it. Oh, okay. Okay, so we look at the draft. So this is already post-switch up where you see the Alice come in, but then we have to put focus on this Melissa. We look at the Falcons Mena composition, and the only source of reach that they really have is the Clint. Now, yes, there is still the problem for Ignite Gaming of the Valentina being able to take away the ults of the Gacha, even able to take away the Jushin ult, and of course the ult of the Alice. All of them as a means to break the formation of Ignite Gaming. But again, the question is, will they have the damage? We saw in the numbers difference, it was 23K lead for the, I'm not even going to try to make numbers anymore, for the Melissa
hieroglyphics?
over the Clint. Yeah, that looked like hieroglyphics there for a second. But then with the combination that Ignite had, as long as they're firing off on all cylinders, despite Falcons Mena being able to hold a very strong line of defense for their Clint, they're not just pumping out enough raw damage compared to the Melissa. Alice is even dealing damage as she has her passive up. We know the Gacha is one of those surprisingly hurtful roamers with a good amount of damage, and even the Hirara being able to come in and provide damage as well. Overall, Ignite Gaming just had more damage, and Falcons Mena, when the Clint was taken out of the equation, no one in this remaining four can deal with a full 5 that Ignite has. It was way too Clint dependent for Falcons Mena.
And that burst, I mean, it does scale late game. And so they had the early game handle. Yeah. And Baratza's, I mean, dominant. Like he was a high level, maybe 15 when there was 11s, 12s roaming around on the side of Ignite Gaming. But you did say that it all felt like if the Clint was gone, then what was the answer? And they didn't have one.
Yeah, it was also, everything should have gone so well for Falcons Mena after Ignite Gaming surprisingly fought Turtle 1. They committed all those bodies up against the Barretts. I think they were a little bit too egotistical in thinking that they could get the turtle, but even if they got the turtle, they still would have gotten taken down. But maybe a little bit of ego is what they needed. It is a little bit of ego that allowed them to get that surprise jump play onto Sano and Sanji and then turning it around. So, hey, Ignite, they have the ego, they have the confidence, and they force game number 3.
I mean, how about that 1v1 down at the base? Sanji's trying to take it all, Trex. We're watching that together. We're thinking this could be it. But it's the delay that leads to the lore, that leads to things turning around for Ignite Gaming. What was going on through your mind watching that?
It was a very all or nothing play, right? And a lot of time that is what you want to go for. But the fact that they couldn't delay Kelvin.
Yeah.
So that means he can get back. If they were able to delay Kelvin, easy, good win. But once they're not able to delay him, at that point, I think as the Paquito, you gotta back off, because once that keeps on going, it gives the rest of the team the time to get the wipe on the rest of Falcons Mena. And once that happens, they're able to just drive that win home. So it's a lot on the line. It's a lot of plays that I think both teams made throughout that game that maybe didn't have to be made.
When you look at a game like that, you think maybe scrappy, you think, I mean, I'm going back to some of the World Cup final moments, especially for Spain and Argentina, and you say, there was almost not a shot on goal for Argentina in 90 minutes. Spain had a ton of shots, but everything was like that last bit of effort, that just final touch to try to make something happen. Feels like when you're in an elimination game or a game